This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth.
Feeling smooth.
Who said that?
It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw.
So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then?
Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my favorite.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, look. It's not sexy, but as a fact, I can stuff multiple quarters in my nostrils. That's right. It came in handy for a bar trick or two in my younger days. It never came in handy again because it literally serves no purpose. However, I am blessed, quote unquote, with big nostrils. Good for me. Well, an 18-year-old man in India, he has a condition called hypertrichosis, a.k.a. werewolf syndrome, a.k.a. excessive hair growth. Now, it happens to about 1 out of every 1 billion people. But this guy, unlike the other 7 people on this planet, he's officially in the Guinness Book of World Records for the hairiest face on a person. Oh, yeah. That is literally what it is called, hairiest face on a person. And I'm not making this up when I say this dude looks like Teen Wolf. So you're thinking, well, congratulations? Well, yeah, actually, you should congratulate him because part of his quote, he said, and I quote, "I'm very happy to get this recognition." I would point out that if you look at his picture, there's no way he will not get that recognition. But then there's a 19-year-old Chinese girl who has patella dislocation. In other words, she can pop her knees out and then back in painlessly, and apparently she just does this like some people tap their leg or chew on a pen top. That's what she does. Now, she is not in the Guinness Book for freaky knees, but she is a viral sensation, racking up millions of views. My advice, don't look at it because it kind of makes your stomach lurch. She pops them out sideways, pops them back in. She did not know it was weird until classmates were like, yo, man, you should see a doctor. So she finally did. And they said, well, here's the good news. It doesn't actually cause any damage to her because, again, she has patella dislocation. So me, I say, hey, whatever works for you. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of a random question. And here's how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com. Hello, Charles, away we go. Welcome to Season 20, episode number 4,277. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat coming up at 4:30. Right here on this very program. Your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today. We have the states with the best and worst dental health.
Okay.
We're not going with the best dental health.
We're going with the worst.
We're going to make it easy for you.
I'd say much easier to guess worse.
Yeah. You think about the jokes. People don't have teeth. You've been to these places. You've traveled across this great country of ours. This might be the easiest category ever. On your guess is as good as mine.
I would agree with that. I mean, I feel like at least 7 of them we could probably nail.
You think about states that have a lot of rural areas, don't have a lot of cities, don't have the best health care in the world. Yeah, they got good football programs.
Great football programs.
Food is delicious if you can afford it.
Yeah.
But toothpaste, too expensive.
Yeah.
Dental floss, not really something that's ever used.
Why bother?
So they say that they factored in several metrics. percentage of adults and adolescents who regularly visit the dentist, the number of dentists and dental clinics, treatment costs, consumption of sugary drinks and energy drinks. So we have the top and the bottom 10 finishers. The state with the best dental health in the United States.
Well, let's guess. I would say somewhere like New Hampshire.
Yeah. See, my guess would be Massachusetts.
That was my first guess, but then I went New Hampshire.
I would say California.
California? What would you say, Mike?
I'll go Vermont.
Vermont. Okay. So Massachusetts is number 9, and that's the only one you guys got right.
Oh, damn.
Illinois is number 1.
Really?
As far as that's why we're not going to go with the top ones, because Minnesota's number 2, Wisconsin's number 3, 4 is Michigan, so obviously
those states. That's the place to be. All right.
North Dakota does very well. So does Idaho, shockingly enough.
Why do you think that section of the country, right? Because they all border each other at that point. What is it about that part of the country where it's like, look, say anything you want, we got good teeth.
Yeah.
Canadian implants.
Ohio's number 10, which blows my mind.
Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, I lived next door to Ohio most of my life growing up. I never really noticed. There was a lot of West Virginia jokes concerning teeth. It did not matter where you went.
Sure.
So you don't go to Ohio and start dropping teeth jokes on people.
Right, well, obviously not, because they're doing pretty well.
They joke to you about your lack there of dental health. Same with Pennsylvania. Same with Maryland. Same with Virginia. You could not go anywhere as a West Virginia without hearing at least one either inbred or teeth joke.
Did like someone from Arkansas offer up those jokes too? Like, really, Arkansas?
You know, at times,
you murdered your cousin, you have bad teeth. Like, okay.
Yeah, I do remember a couple of times where I was just like, you got to be kidding me. You cannot be making these jokes. So there has been a few times where I was insulted by the fact
that a person
was
from
making
this
the jokes.
Yeah.
Yes, I could not believe. You've been to Blacksburg, Virginia?
I have.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's an agricultural school. There's nothing wrong with that. Wazoo's 1, 2. But in those areas, if you're near the farms, it smells like a farm.
Yeah.
It smells like cow crap. And if you're on the campus of Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, you realize that the stadium is surrounded by the farm area. It's like Penn State. I mean, basically, it's just one big farm / parking lot around the stadium. And so we're playing a game there, and the wind is whipping through the stadium, and it just smells like barn.
Yeah.
It smells like cow crap. It smells awful. And they're all screaming, go back into the woods. Go back. Go back. And I'm thinking to myself, you live in a barn.
Right.
You know, this whole place stinks.
Virginia Tech, kind of like Wazoo, are small towns in a state.
Yes.
Whereas, as a Maryland, like, growing up in Maryland, like, you just think of West Virginia as nothing in poor Appalachia.
Well, you're not
West
wrong.
Virginia's like its own city.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Correct. So I think that's why West Virginia gets more of those jokes. Like,
We
basically,
have a naval yard.
right? Like, well, you have Northern Virginia, which helps out Virginia, but
That's
West
what I'm
Virginia,
saying.
like, I don't know, Kentucky, you had Kentucky basketball, you got the Derby.
Yep. Right. And look,
I think Arkansas got helped out by the Clintons because people were like, all right, well, there's a president from Little Rock. Whereas, like, no offense, but
There's
like,
nothing. Yeah.
West Virginia, outside of Mountaineer football, and
wait a minute. They gave us Gilligan. They gave us Don Knotts. They gave us Steve Harvey, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
They gave us Randy Moss.
Sure.
In West Virginia.
Yeah. Jason Williams, his buddy.
Jason Williams.
White chocolate.
White chocolate.
yeah,
I think I'm done. But still, I mean, there's something, man.
Bill Withers.
Bill Withers. There you go.
Yeah.
Ain't no sunshine.
Gotta come. So, by the way, West Virginia does come up in the top 10 of the worst. So there's
Speaking
one
of
right
which-
there for you. There's a freebie if you pick the
So
category.
you're talking about bad dental hygiene or bad tooth health overall, right? And we just mentioned Steve Harvey. Brother's got the biggest, whitest teeth you're ever going to see. There's no way they're all natural. I don't know that for a fact. I just refuse to believe that anyone from West Virginia could open their mouth that big all the time and your teeth look like that.
Jennifer Gardner, another West Virginian. with
Oh,
his teeth.
God, that's right.
Yeah.
But she has hammer toes.
You got
See,
good
there's
teeth.
still something wrong with her.
Hammer toes.
She does. Apparently, like, her toes are kind of hinky. Like,
Yeah.
Like, Ted, you'd absolutely hate her. Like, if she wore flip-flops,
That was-
like, I can't stop looking at your toes.
That was MC Hammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He did that. The other category is the unhealthiest foods on the planet.
planet.
The planet. And
All
they're
right.
all basic food items. This is not like you're talking about,
So, like, bleach flour or something versus
these are
tarantula.
everyday, just grab it and eat it type of foods
Okay.
that, for the most part, are accessible to all of us. It's not like we're talking about some rich, decadent thing. These are just average foods that are the worst for you. And it's amazing, some of the unhealthiest foods on the planet that show up in the top 100. Stuff that you never would think of.
All right.
Everything from smoothies 2 granola, barbecue sauce, obviously frozen dinners, coffee creamer is horrible for you.
Coffee creamer.
But we have the 10 unhealthiest foods on the planet and the worst states for dental. Coming up with your guess is as good as mine at 4:30. And today's the day we do our random question 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
I'll give you guys one to start the show. All right.
I was thinking you probably have a better answer to the one you're looking at than the rest of them.
What is the closest you've been to an animal that could kill you?
And this excludes the zoo, right? So, like, not to stand there looking at a lion going like, yeah, I'm 20 feet away, but...
And I saw a brown or a black bear, not a brown bear, a black bear.
How far
in the
away do you
wild.
think it was?
20 feet?
20 feet. And what do you do
Pretty close.
when you see a black bear? Did it acknowledge you at all? Or
It just, at first I thought it was a giant dog.
Okay.
And then I was like, that's too big to be a dog.
Uh-huh.
So you realize it's bear, maybe like 20 yards. I shouldn't say 20 feet.
Okay.
I don't know. I picked up a stick and banged it on a tree that was nearby, and he kind of popped up and was like, ooh, and then ran off.
Okay.
Crazy man with a stick.
But the longest times, you wouldn't even know you're near one. You probably
Cougars
didn't-
on the tree.
You probably didn't see a rattlesnake. And you more than likely, if you're in a warm area, you might have been close to one of those.
You know what? That's the closest I've been. I couldn't think of an animal, but when we were in Colorado, Denver, where we lived, it was a new housing development built in a prairie, but it was still under construction. So all the rattlesnakes are getting disrupted, disturbed. But, you know, when you're a kid, I felt like kids dealt with rattlesnakes better than adults did. Because you just choose to be scared of things when you're an adult. I'm an adult. I know it's true. No judgment there. But as a kid, they said, look, there's rattlesnakes. And we're like, okay. And they explained we had rattlesnake drills, and they explained, look, try to do the buddy system, but even if you're not with a buddy, because they knew we'd all ride our bikes and throw dirt clods at each other out in the prairie. Look, if you get bitten, stay calm, walk home, don't run, right? Because the faster your heart's going, the faster the better. So we all understood that, and oddly enough, in the 2 years that I lived there, maybe 7 people got bitten by a rattlesnake. Never the quote-unquote reckless kid, because the kids would see the rattlesnake, we'd steer clear. A buddy of mine, I ended up shredding a rattlesnake in the front spokes of my tire on my bike, and not on purpose, but we had, every neighborhood has a suicide hill. So there's our suicide hill, and it dropped, oh, God, I don't even know. As a kid, everything seems bigger, but it went down into the prairie where none of the houses were being developed and putting in infrastructure. But anyway, there's this one little trail, kind of cut through all the brush. My buddy rides down first, and the whole point was, toward the bottom of the hill, there was a pipe. And we're going to hit the pipe and pull a wheelie and finish the rest of the hill doing a wheelie, because that's what kids do when you're 8 years old. So my buddy's in front of me, and he veers off hard right, just absolutely doesn't want to do it. In my mind, I'm thinking, chicken. Well, I realized way too late that the pipe that I'm looking at is not a pipe. It is a rattlesnake. Okay, so I don't know exactly what happened, but I flip over the front of my bike. I go down. The best we can surmise is I had to walk my bike back home. My father sees this bloody front tire. It's like, oh, my God, are you all right? I'm like, it ain't my blood, man. So he starts digging through, and he realized it was a rattlesnake, and all he can guess is when the bike got close and it got disturbed, it tried to snap its head up, got caught in the spokes, and these things are thick. I can't even describe it. It's like a cable, but it stopped my tire from going forward, so I'll flip over the handlebars. So that's the closest I've gotten.
All right. I've had
we've all swam in the ocean. So
I was going to say,
man.
you got to be close to a shark.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
But what if you found out that you were 15 feet away from a shark?
Would you want to know if they said all the times you've been in the ocean?
Or all the time you've just been close to an animal
Right.
that could kill you? Maybe you didn't even know it.
I don't want to know.
Maybe there's a cougar that you walked by on a trail that was underneath a rhododendron you didn't see.
But I feel
I'm
better
telling you.
about land animals. Hey, look, I'm not saying a cougar couldn't take my ass out, but the one thing about like a cougar, all right, we probably weigh about the same, but it's on land.
You're in your element.
That's where I'm in the woods, but
okay.
I definitely feel, because a shark, there's no fight back, man. I can't plant my feet and do something.
If you're Michael Phelps, do you feel better about being in the water with sharks?
No.
You could be the best swimmer on this planet ever.
When it
doesn't change the game.
A manatee swims faster than Michael Phelps. It tells you all you need to know.
My family and I, we went to Hawaii one time. We were doing a snorkeling off the beaches and whatnot, and I remember I was looking down and I was kind of diving out and checking stuff out. There was something in the sand that I went down and checked out, and then I looked it up. It's this guy right here. There is a sea snake that was down there.
no,
And I do
dude.
know that if it's in the water and it's a snake, it's probably not good for you. No, that guy
it's
is
very. They're apparently those are the ones that have more venom
Yeah.
than anything else.
So as soon as I saw it snake around, I was like, and I'm done. And I sprinted out of that water, man. Because it's the same thing. I can't move that fast in the water. And
Do
I'm
they
out.
recommend that you poke things in the sand when you're snorkeling?
Well, dive down and see what it is. Not necessarily poke it or get too close to it, but go and examine
I'll
some
tell you
stuff.
what, you want to see some craziness go down as far as bringing out the woodwork, so to speak, underwater. Pick up a sea urchin, put it in your hand, turn that damn thing over, all right? Because that is the
good stuff.
Caviar of that's your filet mignon. Fish will come out of nowhere and start eating it, and you cannot believe
as soon as you flip it over,
what is coming out of the woodwork to eat the underneath side of that sea urchin. I mean, it must be delicious. I hate it.
How many times did you do this?
All the time. I mean, just like it was fun because you want to get it. Like I have like my
I thought getting sea urchin was tough to do.
No, they're just on the bottom of the.
You don't want to step on them, but
no,
I mean,
no,
if
you just
you
pick 'em up,
recognize
you
it's
pick 'em
there,
up,
yeah.
hold them and flip them over,
and the fish instantly.
And then I had my little disposable underwater camera. Tick, 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 boom, 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 like all the little neat tropical fish that were coming up. I take, and then like this huge ass fish, which I couldn't even identify, I'd come up and grab the whole damn thing and take it with him.
See, that's my problem with the tractor.
In
like
a cloud of dust.
A school of small fish, right? So now there's a school of small fish, which just tells me slightly bigger fish are going to show up to feed on them, and then it just keeps going up the chain until I'm like, I have created a feeding frenzy. I don't want to be.
Okay, Ted. Number one, we have the safe distance to view wildlife.
Ooh, okay.
According to the people from Brain Maze, I believe, to be honest with you, number one is the only one that you have been close to in this room.
Oh, the black bear.
No, the wild horse.
Oh,
You used to go with your mom and go over to Chincoteague or whatever that is.
Correct. Or Assateague Island.
Assateague, that's what they have.
They got the wild horses. I will say, when they swim them across that channel and they have them in that pen, it is scary. So then the ones they don't sell off the ponies, and some of them are bigger horses, people don't buy them. So they got the saltwater cowboys, you got to get them back across that channel like after the 2 weeks. So, seemed like a good idea. My mom was like, hey, why don't we go down there? We could stand on the side of the road. They got to walk right by us. Great idea. Until one of those wild horses, it reared up. And I mean, it was as close as thrill as I am.
Oh, my God.
And it reared up, and I was like,
Ted,
oh,
you're supposed to
we're
say 40 feet away minimal.
I was probably, what is thrill to me? 5 feet?
Yes.
I'd say
Maybe
about a good
6.
8.
Yeah, but still.
Either way.
Safe distance, minimum, 39 feet.
39 feet. Now, does that
to be
mean
safe.
that the horse, if you're that distance away, does not feel threatened by your presence? Or does that distance mean you could probably make it back to your car by the time it covers that distance?
Well,
to me, it's two
Nevada
different
has
things.
wild horses, too.
Right.
Reno's covered in them. So is
Correct.
Carson
Like
City.
I left one of the ranches. Wasn't the bunny ranch? It was the other one down the street, and we had to stop the limo because there was horses all over.
Okay, so you've been close to wild horse. Animal number 2, that would be the bear.
All right.
Safe distance, 295 feet. I believe you've been closer than
I've
any
been
of
closer than that.
That's
Okay.
a football field.
Next up, the crocodile at 65 feet.
Out.
I should give us the animal. I'll see if we can guess the distance.
All right, 65
Wow,
feet.
65. How fast do those bad boys move on land? Because when you're a kid, it's always like they're really fast in the water, but they're slow on land. And then as more nature shows started coming out, and I'm watching these things on land, I'm like, that does not seem
No, they're
very
faster in the
slow
water.
to
They're
me.
faster in the water. So I was like,
Crocodiles are super fast on both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like the alligator is a little slower on the ground.
I was 20 feet away from a crocodile. It says safe distance is 65 feet. But the hippo scared the living bejesus out of me. I'd almost rather deal with a crocodile. Elk. I've been in this distance, easy, on a trail south of Astoria. They say 98 feet away from an elk. I walked up on one, was probably about 40 feet, 30 feet away before I realized what it was.
Does it, and again, when you're in that situation, does it turn and acknowledge you, or does it ignore you?
It turned and acknowledged me, and it was a female, and I swear to God, it looked like a giant horse because it didn't have the horn.
Yeah.
So the face on this thing was just enormous. We just slowly backed out with the kids. That thing went off on its way. It was fine. Elephant, 196 feet.
I would feel more comfortable doing the full football.
I've
field
got
with
12
that.
feet away from an elephant.
And this was in Africa.
Yes.
So what is the reasoning like?
Or as
hey,
they say in South Africa, yes.
How do they calm your nerves? So they say just walk
They
by
don't.
and act like nothing's
I
going
just
on?
froze, dude. I froze.
Did it look at you?
Yes.
And did it How long were you guys looking at? How long are you maintaining eye contact?
He was eating a tree.
Okay.
He didn't care too much, but he definitely looked at you. They definitely know you're there.
And how long did you look at it? Because it seems like in the wild, it's like, man, eye contact can equal your demise.
I'll show you pictures.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, you can see his eye looking at me. Wolf is 230 feet. I've never seen a wolf. Bison,
I've never seen a wolf.
No.
Bison, 150 feet. I've never seen a bison. I mean, I've seen it at the zoo.
Well, in Yellowstone, you just go up and pet him.
Right. And finally, a lion, 328 feet.
You've been close to that.
10.
You were a lot closer than that, man.
Yeah, that was stupid. More of the random question coming up, 206-803.
Look around. What do you see? Cars, lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends, did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped, self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars and used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions of options to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it. AutoTrader.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's ATLASSIAN.com/CONFLUENCE.
I know every operating system like the back of my hand.
I have 25 years of experience and have worked with several people from your company. I've been recognized for my passion. My team is everything.
LinkedIn delivers candidates who rise above the rest. With an up-to-date view into shared connections, skills, and interests you won't find anywhere else. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/message. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient. Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Hawaii is beautiful, but Tahiti is unforgettable. Take off to paradise from the United States, starting at $750 per person with Air Tahiti Nui. This limited time deal includes round-trip all-inclusive service to Tahiti. Visit airtahitinui.com. That's airtahitinui.com.
Rock.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Hope to see you up at Stanwood on Saturday as the Daily Mig Show is putting on Stanwood's shortest St. Patty's Day Parade. It starts at 11 o'clock at the Stanwood Hotel Saloon. Ted, you have been to the Stanwood Hotel Saloon.
Yes, sir, man.
Have you stayed at the Stanwood Hotel Saloon?
I don't know that you can still stay there.
That's just the name of it.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, the parade starts there and I believe ends there. And from what we understand, it's just going around the block.
Something like that.
Marching bands and a whole lot of fun. It's absolutely free. Bring the whole family. We hope to see you up there at the Stanwood Shortest St. Patty's Day Parade, hosted by our friends on the Daily Mig Show at 11 o'clock. All right, here's our random question. Question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Jesse, welcome to the program. Random question. Jesse, I believe that you can answer this one. When and where, Jesse, did you clog the toilet?
Yeah.
When and where did you clog the toilet?
Oh man, you're gonna make me go deep back into some memories I've buried. Apparently.
Depends on where you were.
Right? Where have I clogged the toilet?
I mean, if it's at home, not so bad.
No, still not good.
Not great, but less embarrassing.
I did give an upper decker once in my life. I think that's as close as I'm.
So it was an intentional attempt.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with the upper decker?
Sure.
Very.
Yeah.
Of course. What was the situation that you decided this is the time and place to do this?
So this is a weird one. This is in my early 20s, and a lady had just taken me home with her, and we had just done the dirty, but we didn't have protection, and so we did it, raw as you would. And she had told me, just as a joke, oh, by the way, I'm HIV positive, and then started laughing hysterically. And this was her idea of a joke to get me to panic and leave her house, apparently. So I don't know. Just as after she said, no, I'm joking, I used her bathroom, and I left a proper upper decker for the first and only time of my life.
And then did you leave?
Oh, yeah. I got the heck out of there, man. You better believe it.
Did you ever hear back from this woman, or was that it?
She was actually a close friend later on in life, and we would laugh about it over and over again. She was like, no, I swear my pipes were just rusty. And she would just keep trying to flush it, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did know the person, and I'm sure she eventually said, yes, I cannot believe you did that. And, I found your...
Probably not the best joke to crack, though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dark
motivation.
joke.
Yeah. I've clogged the toilet a couple times in a hotel. Nothing like Hair Club did up in Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, man.
He absolutely just,
He's a very timely individual, right? So he tells me, because it's the day we're leaving, we're flying back to Seattle, and he says, look, we're meeting in the lobby at whatever time, say 8 a.m., because this is what time our flight is. Don't be late, guys. I know you're going to get out and hammered, blah, everything that everyone would say to us, and rightfully so. But no matter how we felt, man, we got up. We made it. We didn't feel great, but we're in the lobby, 8 o'clock. Yep. Waiting on Hair Club. It was like 8:05. We even called to his room. There's no answer. It's like, what the hell's going on? This is just not like him. Man, it's about 8:10. Like, dude, this is great. About 8:15, Hair Club comes rolling down. And we're just like, why are you late? He's like, look, man, I had to poop really bad. And it was real bad. And not only did it plug the toilet up, but I guess it was crusting over the top of the water. Yeah. And I couldn't flush it down. But at the same time that this happened, I can hear the cleaning crew working their way down the hall.
He also didn't know what to do.
Right. So he's like, I'm in a panic, because the cleaning crew at this point is maybe the next room over, and he's just got a mountain of S.
So we're like, how bad is it? So we go up and take a look. First of all, you open the door, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he was not lying.
And then, you go, there was nothing we could do. It was,
bro, you're on your own.
I think he left a 50.
It was a $50 tip.
He left a 50 in one time.
He just said,
not bad.
For the cleaning crew. Well, we had...
I guess that's a little... that's better.
It helped. My daughter, man, and again... So she had blocked the toilet at a different hotel maybe the year before, and now we're in San Diego, and my wife and I were just going to go down to the bar, which the same building as the room. They know where we're at, and my wife even said, we should get a plunger in advance. And I'm getting on my wife. I'm like, come on, babe. Jesus Christ. Like, it happened once in Baltimore. It's not the end of the world. Don't worry about it. What are the chances it's going to happen again? Well, it turns out odds are very good that it's going to happen again. Because I see them, they can't physically enter the bar. It's 21 and over. All right, so they're standing at the doorway, and they're both waving their hands frantically, like they're getting an airplane to land or something. So I walk over, a little bit of a panic, like, guys, what's up? And I just saw their faces, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I blocked the toilet. I'm like, dude, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding. We've been down here for 20 minutes, and this has happened. So this time I refused. I said, no, you guys go up to the front desk.
What's up with your daughter doing things within minutes of you arriving on a vacation destination?
I don't know. Actually,
gotta go.
The one in Baltimore, this was maybe the year before. The one in Baltimore, I went down. I'm like, hey, can I get a plunger? Because I'm not trying to get the crew to have to go up there. And they're like, no, we'll take care of it. I'm like, Jesus, okay. So the guy walks up, and he's pretty cool. Walk him into the bathroom, and so I see him look into the toilet. I got a profile of this guy. He looks at me and he's like, oh, that's a monster. I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. But
she did it.
But to your point, Miles, last time we went to Mexico, We get this cool little place, right? It has a pool. It's the only thing my son cares about. And it is about a block away from a bar that I know very well. So we land, we get unpacked. I say to my wife, I said, look, man, I'm going to go over to the bar. It's literally a 2-minute walk away. Going over to the bar, been on the plane all day. I just want to get a shot, get a beer. She's like, cool. I sit down. I start talking to the bartender. He's like, hey, man, welcome back. I'm like, oh, yeah. And my phone buzzes. So I'm like, oh, hang on. I got a text. Your daughter's locked in the bedroom. She's like, she what? My God, like literally, I just sat in the bar stool, man. Walked back to the place. At this point, she's out of the bedroom, but the door is still locked. My son was savvy enough to figure out he could open this window. There's a place outside she could step and kind of walk down an exterior hall,
all right,
for lack of a better, and get back into the place. But yeah, her door was locked. It's always her.
Yep,
always. I don't know why.
Reese, we asked when or where did you clog the toilets? An international flight from Chicago to India had to return to its point of departure after 10 hours in the air due to what is being reported as an issue with multiple clogged toilets. Air India left Chicago O'Hare on Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, spent a total of 10 hours and 9 minutes in the air before it ultimately landed back in Chicago later that day at 9:09 p.m. rather than its planned destination of Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport. According to the press...
Why couldn't they land there?
Trust of India, because they still had a long way to go. So they were only in the air 5 hours going.
Okay, right, so it's 10, all right, 10 hours.
Yeah, it still seems like after 5 hours, you could stop at another airport somewhere over there and unclog the toilet to continue.
Well, you got to
the
remember,
journey.
Ted, so 3 hours and a half is Chicago to Seattle. So on a 5-hour flight, they're already over the Pacific Ocean.
But you couldn't, hit SeaTac and say, look, man,
but my point is, you're going to turn around and fly 5 hours back? Like, I would have just been like, keep going across the ocean. Let's at least get on the other side of the ocean.
Well, they could.
Unclog the toilet.
Yes, that would be a great idea. Unfortunately, multiple toilets were clogged. 11 of the plane's 12 toilets broke down. 9 of 10 not functional. The single functioning toilet was located in business class. Upon landing in Chicago, this is a big-ass plane. All passengers and crew disembarked normally and have been provided accommodations to minimize their inconvenience. Alternative arrangements are being made for the passengers to finally get to their destination. Full refunds, cancellation, blah, 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 blah. 11 of 12 toilets clogged on one aircraft.
Random. And you got to wonder, what was the in-flight meal? Are they serving? Basically, 5 hours into the flight, you think they've given you something at least, right, to eat?
Correct.
An aviation consultant says it's uncommon for 1 or 2 vacuum toilets to get clogged because passengers often flush tissues, diapers. It is next to impossible for all of them to be clogged due to only passengers' fault. And in a way that it causes an emergency diversion. That's what happened.
They're putting this on the passengers. I mean, I know nothing about
There was nothing mechanical. They were legitimate clogs.
9 of the 10 toilets were
correct.
inoperable. 11 of the 12 did not work because of what the passengers are dropping in there.
That is correct.
God. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey there. That last one was a really crappy situation.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, all right.
Look at All right, let's go with this one. Who did you prank, or who pranked you? Who did you prank, or did someone prank you?
I don't know. I can't think of. I do pranks, but they're small, meaningless pranks. But I can't recall one.
Well, what's a small, meaningless prank to you? I mean, it could be hiding a rubber snake in someone's kitchen cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that. Sneaking up on my wife, or my daughter. You know, I tease my daughter, pick on her.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Kids, that's why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So no one's ever done anything to your car. No one's ever done anything to your home. You've never egged someone's house.
Oh, you know what? There you go. I did. I backed up my buddy's car one time. It was in the parking lot. No power. I didn't have the key or anything, but it was stick shift, right? So you can pop it in neutral and reverse it out. And then I left my sack lunch there in the car. So he had the evidence.
So no, it was you. Yeah, you know what? In high school, probably a 1980 Honda Civic hatchback was a very, very small car at the time.
Yeah.
And my buddy had one. And 4 guys, honest to God, 4 high school kids, could pick this car up and move it in the parking lot. And that was the prank they always did to Craig. They'd pick up that car, and
What kind of car was it?
It was a Honda Civic, but probably a 1980.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
that's
how
a little
small that
tiny
was?
one,
It was
yeah.
2 doors, but it was a 4-seater. So it was barely enough room to squeeze your ass back into the back.
4-seater should be in quotes.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
was
had a
tight.
buddy that had one. It was rare to get somebody
It
back
was tight.
there.
But the lineman could pick this car up, and they would put it strategically, like right between 2 trees beside the parking lot, where there was only seriously like 6 inches or maybe a foot in between them. So he'd forward, back, forward. It'd take him like 40 minutes to just get out of these 2 trees. And he was just get so pissed off about it because
Well, the
like
problem
anything
is-
else, when you're done with practice, you just want to go home.
But even if you find out who did it and it's 4 linemen, what are you going to do about that?
Well, he was one of them. He was also
Okay, that helps.
So I mean, it was his buddies doing it to him. But it was just the idea of that car. They could physically, and they thought it was so funny that they could all.
It is pretty funny.
They could all pick up a car and just walk with it and move the damn thing. But they could. They're
I mean, it is funny.
Yeah.
It is very funny. If it's not
Sucks
your car,
for that guy.
Well, yeah, that's why it's funny though.
Reason we asked who pranked too. A man says he filed a legal claim against his brother-in-law following a prank in which super glue was poured into his belly button while he was asleep. The man writes on Reddit that his wife and her family are furious after he took his brother-in-law to small claims court, but he feels he had no choice. You see, a few months ago, we're at a family barbecue. I had a few too many beers, and I fell asleep in a hammock with my shirt off. My brother-in-law, who is completely sober, thought it would be hilarious to fill my belly button with super glue.
It is hilarious.
At some point, I must have touched it, because when I woke up, I had glue partially dried in my belly button and on my finger. Yeah. He says we tried to remove it, but it was stuck. The glue had adhered to my skin, and when we attempted to peel it off, it caused some tearing around the edges. Now, while the man explained that his insurance policy comes with a $1,000 copay for ER visits, he went to the ER anyway, as he could not remove the glue on his own. They used a solvent and an ointment to remove the glue. And after everything, I was left with a medical bill of $2,253. He then asked his brother-in-law to cover the cost, but he refused. So after trying to resolve it privately, I took him to small claims court, and I won. However, he still hasn't paid. This has caused a major rift in my family. My wife is upset. Her family thinks that I overreacted. Users are overwhelmingly shocked that the man's wife isn't on his side, saying, I can't believe your wife isn't with this on you. Pranks should never involve going to the ER room.
I mean, but here's the difference to me. You go to the ER room because you're bleeding or something is broken. I go, right, that prank went too far. It's super glue on your belly button, man. Like your body would have gotten rid of that on its own anyway. Just the skin keeps regenerating. The thing would have just fallen out. You took him to small claims court. Look, you made your decision. But inevitably, if they ruled in your favor and he's not going to pay, he's just going to end up having to pay more. You won't get the extra money, but, you'll start getting fined and all this kind of thing. But I could see why
Why is it so easy to go to court and not pay what you're supposed to pay? I mean, if you have the money, that's
because
one
there's
thing.
no real punishment.
But when guys get sued for all this money, like, for an example, the Goldman family won against OJ in civil court just about any future earnings he has.
Yeah.
He never paid him a dime.
No.
That's what they ruled against him multiple times, and he still was able to live his life and not pay that fine. You look at like Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. He got sued. There's all these different people who get sued. None of them ever pay.
But I think part of it is filing countersuits and this and that.
You can drag it out,
Correct.
drag it out, and there doesn't seem to be any real repercussion for it.
Alex Jones had to sell off, right?
But then they reversed it and said, now you don't have to pay it.
Right.
All these guys, Rudy Giuliani. I mean, there's so many guys like, just here's what you do. No matter
sadly,
what the court
outside
says, don't pay it.
But outside of criminal court, generally, the way court works in this country is whoever has the most money wins.
That's it, right? Just hire a better lawyer. Like, I don't want to pay this. But in this case, look, was it worth causing a family rift? It doesn't matter what side of the fence you think the guy's wife should have been on. Like, dude, it was super glue in your belly button. And it'd be one thing if he glued something to you. It was just a belly button full of super glue. It's not ideal. I get that.
Right.
But don't lose your mind.
Random. You weren't expecting to walk out of a barbecue, though, and pay $2,300.
But wouldn't you just go to, I don't know, go to Home Depot and buy a solvent? Because inevitably...
Well, the solvent could be there, but the solvent could also be able to take things off that are industrial. You're talking about human skin and flesh.
Sure.
So I'm sure they've got something that's acidic enough or something.
And I kind of agree with the guy, though. Look, I've had mustard poured in my ear, which pissed me off.
In your ear?
Yeah, I mean, we were 19. But if somebody had super glued my belly button together, to me, that's just
It's a different level.
It's a completely different level.
It is. I'm just like, relax, man. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Tanner, welcome to the program. Random question. Here's one for you. Tanner, what would you say is the dumbest way that you have injured yourself? What was the stupidest way that you've caused injury? Not by someone else super gluing your belly button, but what have you done?
Oh, man, countless times. I've had so many road rash incidents from longboarding. Right now, I'm actually sitting in the ER because I got an infection in my knee.
How'd you get an infection in your knee?
You know, I'm still trying to figure that out. Asking the doctor a lot of questions. Ever since I moved out to Spokane, I keep getting abscesses all over my body.
That speaks well of Spokane.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you have a lesion or a cut before the infection, or you're kind of infected from the inside?
I think, maybe something on the inside. They keep telling me about, all the bacteria on your body and little sacs, and they can get infected and whatnot. So I'm really not sure, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, but it does.
This is the worst one I've had so far.
Now, are these things you notice visually, or can you physically feel them, and that's what gets your attention?
Yeah, you can kind of it looks kind of like it's forming like a little pimple at first, like a little black dot there.
All right.
And yeah, I had one on my side right before my knee. I was able to hot pack it and get all that drained. And then I messed with the knee a little too much trying to open it, and I think I pushed the infection down a little more, and it just started spreading everywhere.
Oh, you need to get that taken care of, man. Hopefully some antibiotics will clear that up, because that can be really serious.
Oh, yeah, they're pumping me full of antibiotics right now.
Okay.
Hey, Ted.
What's up, dude?
Hey, LARP on, man. Sorry to hear about your cousin.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for listening to the cast.
Reason we asked dumbest way you've injured yourself. Here's a crazy one. A man in northern China recently had to be rushed into surgery after he picked his nose so hard that he hit an artery.
Come on.
Now, they say minor nosebleeds from picking are common, but you really have to get up in there and hit an artery.
That's ridiculous.
They're way up there. So he was really getting after that one. He showed up at the hospital after he could not get the bleeding to stop. Now, we're only hearing about this because his wife shamed it for him on TikTok, the Chinese version of that, and revealed he's a compulsive nose picker who refused to stop picking. The video is in Chinese, and he's lying in the hospital bed while she mocks him for not listening to her. Doctors did repair the torn artery. Thankfully, he will be okay. On the list of the most embarrassing ways to die, though, that could have been number one.
Oh, yeah.
Through the nose. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0.99% APR for 60 months or $7,500 EV bonus on the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Navigate the electric revolution and gain insights to electric vehicle manufacturing with Rockwell Automation. Get our free white paper and gain all the insights you need into the electric auto industry and smart manufacturing. Only the agile will survive this metamorphic shift in the industry. So let Rockwell Automation keep you up to speed. Search Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper and download your free copy today. The electric revolution is here and full insights are available for download. Get the Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper today.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Want to travel like a savvy jet setter? No, that doesn't mean monogramming your passport. It means making smart decisions every step of your trip, which means knowing your options. Smart Travel unpacks the facts, like which booking sites actually save money, how to fly first class using points, and if that fancy travel card is a smart investment. All so you can save more on your next adventure. Follow Smart Travel from NerdWallet today and start traveling like a pro.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hawaii is beautiful, but Tahiti is unforgettable. Escape to a paradise without the crowds and enjoy all-inclusive round-trip flights from the United States to Tahiti starting at $750 per person on Air Tahiti Nui, the world's most immersive travel experience. From the vibrant cabins to the warm and welcoming crew, you will be transported to the islands of Tahiti from the moment you step on board. Your perfect getaway is just 2 drinks and a movie past Hawaii. Visit airtahitinui.com, that's airtahitinui.com, to book your dream vacation.
Man, that was easy.
Bulldog Rotary Hammer!
Hello?
It is I, He-Man, your inner Bosch.
Inner...
Bosch!
I'm sorry, what?
That powerful feeling you get when you can powerfully blast through concrete. Say it with me.
What, like right now?
Yes! We have the power! The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a...
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider, satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Download today. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. Mike, what's happening?
Oh, kicking and screaming. How about you?
Well, you know, we're here. Weekend was way too fast, man. That thing blew by. Especially losing that hour, you know?
I mean, this is what sucked. Not to go through my entire weekend, but Comic-Con was Saturday. Starts at 10 a.m. My daughter's just like, this is her Super Bowl, right? I cannot explain how much she loves it. She wanted to get there early. I'm like, no. We got there at 9:59. Cool. 1 minute before it opens. Hung out until about 3:30. So Sunday, had to get up early for my son's volleyball tournament. So we had to get up at 6:30. I'm like, all right, it's a little earlier than I'd like, but not the end of the world. About midnight, said, all right, I'm going to go to bed. Then I remembered to set the clocks forward. So I went from midnight to 1 a.m. in the blink of an eye. I'm like, I just lost an hour's sleep. Cool.
Okay, let's go with some food questions here. What do you or have you eaten that most people would not or have not?
Give me some ideas there, Miles.
All right, deviled ham. Vienna sausages.
All right, pickled eggs.
Do you actually like pickled eggs?
Well, it's weird. They're like Vienna sausages, where you have like one of them, then it's okay, but then after that, it's just like the most horrendous taste.
How many pickled eggs have you eaten, or did you eat in one sitting?
No, not like in one sitting. Good gosh, make me sound like an animal. No, I just, it was drunk nights in the military and the army. Just go over to a guy's house, and Robbie always had, for some reason, pickled eggs.
Did he pickle his own eggs, or did he buy them?
Yeah.
He pickled his own eggs.
Yeah, we were in Georgia, and I don't know what the heck he was doing.
I mean, but if you walk into an old bar, or it used to be like an American Legion or an Elks Club or whatever, if you knew somebody who was a member in that, there was always a jar of some crap on the counter, where that was pickled pig's feet, the pickled eggs.
But sometimes the jar always had this, like you could go in 3 years later, they would tell you it's the same jar, and as best you could tell, maybe an egg had been purchased.
But I'll tell you what, they did have, one place did have a quarter giant pickles. And I mean, they're the size of a cucumber.
Right.
Those things were freaking delicious. But other than that, man, I wouldn't touch anything on a jar. in a bar counter, man, because it's just
tongue tacos. Those tongue tacos
were they?
I've had tongue tacos.
You said they were okay, right?
Yeah. You just got to get rid of the fact that it's tongue.
It's back to what Mike says about texture too. To me, it's the texture of those things. You can take you. It's almost like you're kissing somebody, but you're eating it.
I've never eaten tongue, but the first time I had heard that people eat tongue, and the first time I saw it at the grocery store, it's packaged like ground beef. It was just in a styrofoam thing with cellophane. And I guess in my mind, I thought they would make it look different. It was just a tongue. It looked like the Rolling Stones logo sitting in cellophane, taste buds and all that.
Well, if you know anybody in Georgia, probably had a chicken foot sandwich somewhere within a few miles of wherever you live.
My grandfather used to eat that, and he ate those things religiously. He swore by them, but anytime my brother and I would visit when we were little, he knew it would freak us out, so he made it a point to have the feet hanging out of the bottom of the bread.
It's all based on what you know and what you grew up with and what is normal to you. So
being broke helps.
Soft shell crab sandwich, pretty well just a specialty of New Orleans and Baltimore, Maryland.
Dude, I ate little, it was like halves of soft shell crabs, so they had wrapped in bacon.
Yeah.
Just last week.
Well, the problem is that, like with Castle, when he saw that thing was a crab with legs sticking out on a couple pieces of white bread, he almost had to run out of the restaurant and go throw up.
He did physically leave the Look, he was very hungover. We all were, but we went to a seafood place for Baltimore, or Miles' wedding. So we're in Baltimore for the wedding, and I'm like, man, I'm getting a soft shell crab. It's August, they are in season. I have not had one in a hot minute.
And they're really good. If you can get past the fact that you're eating a whole entire crab between two pieces of bread.
But that's the thing, because Castle, he actually said, please don't order that. And he wasn't joking. He was being dead serious. I said, look, man, I'm not going to get this again for a while. I'm going to order it. And when they brought it out, it looked like a fried tarantula between two pieces, because the legs were hanging out. And then I remember he's staring at me, and then he said, and he was being dead honest again, please don't take a bite of that. I'm like, Castle, I'm not doing this to gross you out. I'm doing this because I
really want this.
I actually want. And I took the first bite. And I remember he got up and just said, "I've got to go." He seriously couldn't. He's like, "I can't. I can't
ordered
watch
one
you do
too.
this."
I mean, that's if
Dude,
that's
when I
in
was
season,
a kid, there was a place in PG County. My dad went every time it was soft shell season.
Yeah,
we went to this place. Right, you get the sandwich, white bread, mayonnaise, or maybe tartar.
Maybe.
I feel like it was usually mayonnaise, and the legs stick out and everything.
Man, they can't really.
But as I got older, I really like them. I like spider rolls. He's got the legs sticking out if you eat sushi.
Have you ever seen the soft shell crab be prepared? So I've always enjoyed soft shell crabs, and now I'm working at a seafood restaurant. We got them in, cool. And just like regular crabs, it's the whole crab. The difference is you got to cut their face off.
Yeah.
I did not realize that when we got them. They're like, well, we're not going to deep fry the eyeballs and all that. So you cut the front of their face off. And because they're soft, it's literally just a pair of kitchen scissors. And look, man, if you cook regular crabs, I know they're alive. You put them in the pot, they're kind of screaming, they stop knocking, they're done. This just felt different because you had to look at it, you know what I mean? And I'm holding this thing, and it's like he is still alive, and I take these scissors, and I cut his face off, man. And then, all this weird mucusy, bubbly stuff kind of comes out for a second, and that's it. That's how you prepare them.
Then you batter it. And
I felt bad. I'm like, Jesus, man, I'd rather just eat you.
Reese, we asked, what do you or have you eaten that most people wouldn't or have not?
And I will say, real quick, chitlins is still one that bugs me.
My grandmother
and there's
loved
certain people that love them, and I recently tried one as they serve them at a place we like. And I was just like, all right, I'll try them again. I don't know. I can't get into them.
An iron stomach speed eater broke a Guinness World Record by eating 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Mike Jack, who is a Canadian YouTuber famous for his high tolerance for spicy food, broke the world record for the fastest time to eat 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers at the Goat Fest in Kitchener, Ontario.
Goat Fest.
They say they have
Come on down to Goat Fest. Sunday, Goat Fest.
Watch a dude die eating peppers. Like some 1 million Scovilles on that thing, compared to about 4,000 for an average jalapeno pepper. Reapers were considered the hottest chili pepper in the world until the debut of Pepper X last year.
Oh, Pepper X.
Do you think you'd be, just between us, right, just normal people, do you think you'd be able to tell the difference between the Ghost Pepper and the Pepper X?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Well, he said I might make it look a little easier than it is. I'm burning up in here. I really feel it. The peppers, they hurt a lot. Jack does hold multiple Guinness World Record titles, but not all of them are spice-related. He broke a record last year by drinking a Capri Sun juice pouch in 21.71 seconds using a paper straw.
Come on.
That doesn't seem realistic. That must be a bad number in there. 21.71.
To suck down a single Capri with a paper straw?
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Now, we head to the University of Miami. Ted, you like a good baseball game?
Sure.
The baseball
Miami's got a
stadium,
great program.
They recently offered a milkshake combined with a Philly cheesesteak. It is a vanilla shake with an actual cheesesteak and cheese whiz mixed in. Now, if that sounds disgusting, you probably don't need to see photos of it. That's not going to help you. One person who tried it said, honestly, it was awesome. Unfortunately, the cheesesteak milkshake was just a limited time thing. A guy down in Miami named Mitch Friedman, he has been making unique creations for 40 years to honor the opposing team. He made a lobster shake when a team from Maine visited. Teams from New Jersey got a cannoli shake, which sounds pretty good.
Decent.
That would be good.
And so when Villanova's baseball team was in town last week, he went with a cheesesteak.
You know what, though? As much as, and look, that's not something I would want, but I've said this before about my own personal taste, which is like go somewhere like Wendy's, right? And people take 2 bites of the burger's still in their mouth, and then they take a bite or sip of their Frosty. And to me, that is so vile. I'm just one of those people. My food will be swallowed before I drink my drink.
Yeah, but you also
get
get you normally get a chocolate shake with your burger.
I'll get it, but even if you gave me a vanilla shake, right, and said, look, man, take a couple bites of your burger. I got my ketchup, mustard, cheese, bacon, maybe, whatever. Then take a sip of your shake. That's not the flavor combo I want in my mouth. So to me, knowing a lot of people do that anyway, the cheesesteak milkshake doesn't sound that much different. I'm sure
guess
the
you're right, 'cause I do
is worse.
enjoy, like, if I get a milkshake with a burger, I'll definitely take a bite or two of the burger and then immediately take a sip of the milkshake.
See, I think you would actually not love that.
I do that.
But I think you'd be absolutely fine with that because it's kind of the same thing.
It really is.
Like, to me, that's an absolute no.
And as far as what you maybe would not eat or have eaten, they say it resembles a small beaver or a very large rat. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service would like to see more of them go into gumbo. Nutrias, semi-aquatic rodents native to South America, are an invasive species that is now found in 18 states, including California, where they have reappeared after they were thought to have been eradicated in the 1970s. As far as National Invasive Species Awareness Week, they said the meat is lean, mild, and tastes like rabbit. Others have compared the taste to turkey. Nutrias, also known as swamp rats, were brought to the U.S. for the fur trade, but have been present in the wild, especially along the Gulf Coast, since at least the 1940s. They eat around a quarter of their body weight a day, which can devastate wetlands. Their nonstop munching and burrowing destroy the plants that keep marshes stable, leading to erosion, loss of habitat, and wetlands that look something out of a disaster movie. However, they have been described as invasive, yet delicious. Robbie Carter, organizer of the annual Louisiana Nutria Rodeo, tells the New York Times that hunters show up with truckloads of nutria carcasses for the event, which features a nutria toss competition and a cook-off. You have about 6 or 7 teams. They made tacos. They made gumbo. They made sloppy joes using fresh nutria meat. He said eating invasive species helps, but it's not a complete solution and should be combined with other conservation efforts to effectively control these species. Other species on the Eat the Invaders list include...
Eat the Invaders, okay.
Invasive carp, the green iguana, which they call the chicken of the trees.
All right.
Chicken of the trees.
Chicken of the trees.
I did not realize that nutria were invasive because of my time in New Orleans, they were everywhere. And these guys, I mean, they go on their trucks literally to the marshlands and just shoot them. And you get invited to go out all the time. Like, hey, man, this weekend we're going to basically go on a nutria hunt. They set up their spotlights and blow these things away because there's millions of them and they're an easy target, right? So I found out later it's illegal, but I don't think a cop in Louisiana is going to arrest you for doing it because no one likes them.
Okay.
It'd be like saying, cockroach, if you kill a cockroach, it's illegal. You smash that bitch with a hammer, no one gets on your case because there's so many. I did not know they're invasive. Then as far as iguana goes,
I mean, I think with the nutria, though, like I know in some parts of like New Orleans, like there's special task force of like the cops and like the animal control that do it.
They do.
But I could see
they get a lot.
You don't want people just firing off 22s in ditches.
They get unsolicited help. It's probably the best way to put that. But then as far as iguana goes, I've never had iguana, but I went to school with a chick who's from Trinidad and Tobago, and we were talking about food, and she goes, well, one of the popular pizzas that we had in Trinidad, it's your standard crust. I think I was eating a pepperoni pizza. She's just not into pepperoni. I'm like, oh, you don't eat meat? She's like, oh, no, man, I eat meat, but instead of tomato sauce, it was a ketchup base, cheese, and iguana. I'm like, are you messing with me? You're being serious? She's like, no, man, it's iguana meat. And so what does it look like? She said it is basically green on the inside and green on the outside. Kind of threw me for a loop. But she goes, it's delicious. And I'm just going to take her word for it. But imagine a pizza with a ketchup base, iguana meat, and cheese. Can't believe Pizza Hut hasn't run that on a special yet. And if you order a double stuffed crust pizza, we'll send you one free large iguana pizza. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, folks. How y'all doing?
Hola. Doing great, Steve. Thanks, man. Okay, let's go with this one. Hopefully you can answer it. Why were you, Steve, talking to the cops? What was the reason you were talking to the cops?
Oh, geez. Okay, I got to pick one. Okay, this is good. So back in the day, a buddy of mine and I had ninja suits. We had ninja suits. We had ninja swords. We had the full gear. This was like mid-'80s, and we were roaming around our neighborhood, just ding-dong ditching and doing all that kind of stuff. Well, my buddy and I decided to walk up to a friend's house that we knew. He knocks on the door, stands there in our ninja suits, and proceeds to tell the homeowner, the dad, that we are going to kidnap his daughter and take her away.
How old were you when you did this?
Just too old. We were stupid. Let's call it plus or minus 14 years old.
Okay.
And so there were, and obviously we're not going to do anything. We're not necessarily up to no good. The guy takes it serious, starts wrestling with my buddy in the front yard. I turn into Carl Lewis and I'm off. And eventually, we catch up with each other, make it to another friend's house. Somehow word gets around and this friend drops dime, and out front is waiting a cop car for us. And so we go out, we get tossed in the back of this cop car dressed like ninjas. We get taken down to the local cop shop, and our parents have to come and bail us out.
Now, are you unmasked before you're thrown into the cop car, or you still look like ninjas in the back of a cop car?
I think at that point in time, the masks are off because they wanted to ID us and that type of thing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And what is your parents' response when because as a parent, I feel torn. Okay, I didn't really do anything. It's just stupid. I'd be irritated that I have to go down and get you, but were they pissed or were they just like, come on, man, use your head?
It was more about, that they had to come down. It was probably by the time they got down to the cop shop, maybe midnight or something like that. And they were in bed and all of it. I think it was more of just, pull your head out of your butt. What are you thinking? In today's society, we could have got shot.
Oh yeah, you're blown away
without question.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
The reason we asked why were you talking to the cops? A 4-year-old boy in Wisconsin was left unimpressed after his mom did something horrible. According to a Facebook post from the Village of Mount Pleasant Police Department, boy called 911 March 4th after his mother ate his ice cream. In audio obtained, the child could be heard expressing his frustration over his mom's actions before she spoke to the dispatcher. Hello, this is Racine County 911. What's the address of the emergency? According to the dispatcher who asked, and the boy replied, my mommy is being bad. Okay, says the 911 operator. Tell me what's going on. Come and get my mommy, the boy responded as he appeared to cry. Okay, again, son, what's going on? The responder continued before the child yelled this time, come get my mommy. Do you know your... Hi. Excuse me, what's going on over there? The dispatcher asked as an adult began to speak on the phone. Oh, this little one got the phone. I'm sorry. He's 4 years old, the woman explained. And so we're trying to catch him because he said he was going to find a phone and call 911. And then he says, no, I called the police, and I just told her to come and get my mommy, and I just told her to put her in jail. Leave me alone, the boy said. Child's mom then said, ma'am, I ate his ice cream. So that's probably why he's calling 911. When officers arrived, he said his mom did, in fact, eat his ice cream. And she needed to go to jail for it right now. He told them then, after thinking about it, maybe he no longer wanted her to go to jail and really just wanted some ice cream. The department then revealed that the officers surprised the boy as they brought ice cream that day after his call, as they shared a sweet photo of the moment. Officers responded to surprise him with some ice cream after he decided maybe he didn't want to get mommy in trouble anymore, according to the statement.
The mom's probably like, the next time he eats his ice cream, he's going to call your ass again because his thought's going to be like, I get ice cream if I say mom stole ice cream. He's at that age. Mm-hmm. My son yesterday, man, I won't say where we made an illegal turn, but we made an illegal turn. And as we make the illegal turn, my wife utters the words, "Oh, is that a cop?" Well, it was. And they wanted to turn around and do something about it, but we managed to, let's just say, disappear before anything could have been done. My son's in the back seat, and he goes, "If the cops pulled you over, the first thing I was going to do is to scream, 'Help!'" I'm like, man, look, you've done this test before at the airport where we go and give your passports, going to Mexico, right? Got the passports. And in spite of us looking almost identical, they have to ask the question, are these people with you? Are they your parents? And not the first time they did. He got a little older, and he looks at me, and he's like, "This guy?" And the look on the face of TSA and Customs, I'm like, "Dude." And then he starts laughing. He's like, yeah. So I had to tell him afterwards, I'm like, "Look, man, I love your sense of humor. I do. And I don't mind if you even try to embarrass me. Do not get me arrested." Yes. Right? There's a difference. You want to embarrass me? Cool. I'll get you back. That's funny. But man, oh man, I'm like, do not joke at the airport. Do not joke to cops. They just don't have a sense of humor when they're on duty.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Look around. Every car you see is probably on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars. As for flying cars, well, we're ready when they are. If you see a car you like, find it on AutoTrader. That's our kind of thing. AutoTrader.
Navigate the electric revolution and gain insights to electric vehicle manufacturing with Rockwell Automation. Get our free white paper and gain all the insights you need into the electric auto industry and smart manufacturing. Only the agile will survive this metamorphic shift in the industry. So let Rockwell Automation keep you up to speed. Search Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper and download your free copy today. The electric revolution is here, and full insights are available for download. Get the Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper today.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0.99% APR for 60 months or $7,500 EV bonus on the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
On the way at 4:30, your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today, we have the worst states in the United States for dental health and the unhealthiest foods on the planet. That's on the way at 4:30. And as our phone system is now working via computer, to fix that, we have to turn that computer off and then turn it back on.
Is that all we do?
So
does it just matter off on?
We reset it.
Okay, it's what you can
So
do.
if you're on hold there for the random question, call back 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, I'll find one for you, fine young gentlemen.
That was that. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on? Yes. Have you tried unplugging and plugging it back in? Yes, I've tried that. I've tried cussing at it. I've tried kicking the hard drive, and I've tried staring it down. None of those things work.
Okay. All right, we're all getting a little bit up there in age. What would you say is an old person habit that whether you meant to or not, you've kind of adopted over the years?
An old person habit.
All right, for an example.
All right, you grocery shop.
I heard you guys in the office talking about the fact that you went to a party or a bar birthday at 8 o'clock. And that was a little bit late to be headed out in the evening.
It was Friday. I had committed to being home, and I was already tired. I throw my feet up on the coffee table. My wife says, hey, mutual friend of ours, not even like a party, but a couple people were going to go out, celebrate a birthday. I'm like, F it, what, 8 o'clock. And I'm just like, damn it, man, right? So, and look, I like to drink. I get to the bar. Who's there? Well, there's Ted. Ted's like, only been here a few minutes. Wasn't going to come out. It's kind of late. It was about 8:10 that we're having this conversation.
Man. On a Friday night.
It was like Friday.
A Monday,
It
or
was-
a Tuesday,
hear me out.
or
It was-
a Wednesday.
I thought it was ridiculous because generally on Friday, right? Like if I'm going to go out, I'll go out right after work.
Yeah, me too.
But I was an old man and I went home and I sat on my couch and I fell asleep for about 25 minutes.
All right.
That's real old.
So you take a nap, so you feel a little bit better.
So I missed my butt. I was supposed to meet 3 friends at a different bar, and I said, well, I'm not going to meet you now. I'll just go to the neighborhood bar. So it was just funny, no offense to Thrill, but when he showed up, I was just like, oh, you're like stone sober too. And he was like, yeah, I just came out. I was like, oh, me too. I almost did. It's already 8.
I know, because then we had the conversation. Well, what brought you out? So Ted explained, I was supposed to meet guys earlier. I took my nap. I'm like, I was content to be home, but we got the call. So we're kind of commiserating about the fact that can't believe we went out this late. It's 8 o'clock. on
You're right,
Friday.
Miles. That was a bad conversation.
Well, I mean, I just say,
But it was true.
This is what
We
happens
couldn't
when you get
believe
old.
that the other one was also, quote unquote, because as Ted said, for both of us, because typically, if we go to that bar, it's just straight after work. So
Correct.
around 8 o'clock or 8:30, you're heading home.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So the idea of coming out at that late hour
wow.
of 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, we're both
Well,
just
okay,
like, wow.
my parents have been divorced, not together for 53 years.
Damn.
If I go see my mom, I will look at the amount of pills that she takes daily. All right, now she's got a little Saturday through Sunday little pill container, okay? And I'm telling you, she takes probably 10 to 12 pills a day.
A day.
Now, my father, when he's come to visit me, I've seen bottles of stuff that are on the counter. And I mean, it looks like a drug deal. He's got a fishing tackle box full of drugs at home. And he takes probably 10 to 15 supplements a day as well. Now, I have gotten to this point in my life where I take now 6 different pills a day. And I have that I have that weekly little thing.
Wow.
Where I definitely take a vitamin D because I feel like you need it. I take fish oils. I take an omega-3. I take I don't know what the hell I take. I'll take a, what is the probiotic for your stomach.
Okay, now wait. Here's the difference, though. Is anything you're taking prescribed by a medical practitioner, or are you just getting old and saying, I
That's
need
what I'm
this?
saying. This is my old person habit that I've
That's
adopted.
an old person. Like, my
Correct.
dad now is to take pills, but all of them are doctor prescribed for
I
whatever.
understand that.
And I get it. But
These
you're just like, nah, man, I'm
taking
doing
a
this for
daily.
me.
I'm taking like 4 or 5. I got a turmeric in there. I don't even know what the hell that does. A vitamin C.
So what is turmeric? I've heard it's good, but
That's with inflammation.
Inflammation. Okay.
Yes. So I take all that crap. So I realize that I'm slow. And you know what? I'll probably have to get a bigger container because I'll probably end up starting taking more pills.
And you grocery shop and eat breakfast almost every morning.
Well, I don't eat breakfast.
Not every morning,
but
but you always
Well,
say, man, I had to get up at 6, say, for golf, right? And I understand that. But you always make the comment, we get breakfast, which makes sense. But I really like getting breakfast early, man.
What? I can walk to my gym. My gym is a quarter mile away from my house. So when I walk to the gym, on the way back, there's a grocery store in between the gym and my home. So if I don't have anything in the refrigerator to eat that night, or if I need some lunch, I'll just walk in there, and every day I just buy what I need for the day.
Who else is in there?
I am the youngest person in there.
Yeah.
Other than the people who are working there.
Yeah, I'll go to the grocery store sometimes in the morning at like 9:30. It's just
Sure.
old people.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, though.
Yeah,
That's the difference is when we make the comment, but it's nice. That's when you hit the old.
With the exception of being completely unaware of their surroundings, it's nice. As far as where you're parking your buggy, just getting in the way of people.
English? You're calling it a buggy?
Well,
the cart,
the cart, whatever the hell it is. It's right in the middle, and then they're kind of like wandering around. Like, you can't get by them. So then you got to physically move their cart, and I feel like that's like someone's personal territory, even though the grocery store owns it. But I still feel like if I scoot their cart over, like they're looking at me like I stole their car.
We got a couple of texts here, and this one, God, I hate to admit this. It says, I get pissed if stray children are on my property. If I had a basketball hoop or something, then I'd understand. No, I have a basketball hoop, and I remember here, it's like 2 summers ago, I heard the ball bouncing, kids playing, and look, they were very nice. They were very respectful, but it was the first time in my life I had to pull the old man card, open my door, I'm like, who the F are you? We're like, oh, we saw the basketball hoop. They weren't doing anything.
That's what kids do.
But and I did it all the time as a kid. If you had a basketball hoop, that's where the kids went, right?
Yeah.
And I realized I had to remind myself of that, like, it's okay. But then my wife, she walks around like, who the F's outside playing basketball? So I'm like, all right, I already talked to him. Let's let it go. Then someone else says, my old person habit, I inherited is listening to the radio every day. I need my talkies. And if you call it talkies, yes.
Okay.
That is definitely a thing.
Well, there's a thread on social media where people are talking about old person habits they've adopted, but they're actually really good ideas, and here are the best ones. Wearing those straps on your glasses so you can wear them around your neck when you're not using them. I believe they're also known as croquis if you're into the boating world.
That what they're called? All right.
But they have the ones that, that are more on the temples that hang down. So if you have readers on, you can just kind of take them off, rest them on your chest, and put them back up.
Exactly.
I don't have those type of glasses, so I don't need those. But I typically just take my glasses off all the time so I can read and then put them back on so I can actually see. Having a box of tissues in every room just in case.
Jesus. Yeah. Old people love that.
They do, and they don't throw the tissues away either.
No, you just ball them up and put them on the coffee.
I got to remind myself when I get a cold to buy tissues. It's usually if I have to blow my nose, I just use toilet paper.
Mm-hmm. Toilet paper, towels, whatever.
When backing up the vehicle or while parallel parking your car, it's very important as an old person to lower the volume on your radio.
Yeah. Does that help?
Lower the volume. I also, for some reason, don't like to drive with a baseball hat on, but I wear a baseball hat almost every day.
Really?
I take it off when I get in the car.
I do too.
Don't know why.
I don't either.
But you're right. If I'm looking for directions, I got to turn down the volume.
Everybody does, and I don't know what it is. Just like, we're lost. Turn down the volume.
Yes.
Like, well, we're still lost, and now I have no music.
Having a plastic bag full of other plastic bags, just in case.
I have that in my work bag right now.
You never know when you'll need one when you get old. Having paper printouts of vacation itineraries. Yeah. Sure, everything's on your phone. The ticket, the whole deal. But you're always digging through apps trying to find the stuff you're looking for. It's better just to print up the hotel, the rental car company.
I maintain.
The plane itinerary.
People make fun of me. They say you're an old man. I'm like, I am. They say you're a caveman. Might be. I want the paper printed itinerary. I really do.
I do too. I think it's very helpful to me.
So my kid, we had to fly to Texas, January, whatever it was. Anyway, the family is down there before me because I had to work. And then it's just me. I got to fly down. And my wife's like, look, you need to install the American Airline app. And I'm like, why can't I just get a printout? And she said, look, just install the app. So this went on for 5 minutes because my retort was always, why can't I just get a paper printout? Finally, she's like, just install the app. So I go to install the app. Well, I can't install the app because I have not updated my phone in 7 years. Seriously, I said, you don't have whatever it is. Yeah. So then, and this kind of thing just irritates me. I know it's not a big deal. Everyone does it all the time. Well, now I have to install the new operating system, I guess it is, into my phone, which takes like 40 minutes. I mean, I'm just pissed off the whole time. And in the end, turns out that app, rather convenient.
Buying pill organizers. I've already covered that.
I got one in my backpack.
Using closed captioning on everything you watch.
Not there yet.
Okay.
No.
Immediately upon entering your domicile, switching to comfortable clothes, slippers, sweatpants, T-shirts, getting in the comfort zone as soon as you get into your house.
Immediately.
Really?
To me, it depends on what I'm going to do the rest of the evening.
I always just kick off my shoes. But I would say none of my clothes are that uncomfortable. And then none of my quote-unquote comfy clothes are so much more comfortable. It's just not worth it.
Oh, man. Kick the shoes off, put the pajama pants on, the loose shirt, the emotional support hoodie, as the wife calls it. Got my slippers, my house shoes on.
I was gonna say I'm like Mr. Robinson, because I'll put socks and shoes back on, but I'm gonna change Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Well, I was called Mr. Robinson.
Robinson, I know you're in there. Open the door.
I pay my rent.
Having a blanket within arm's reach when sitting on the sofa.
Yes. Always.
Lap blanket,
in fact,
whatever blanket.
It is just my blanket, and it is my spot on the couch. I have to kick my kid and my dog off there all the time. No one gets to use my blanket. It is my blanket.
More old people habits. Eating early dinners. The earlier, the better.
Nah, not really that one.
And doing weekend errands before noon to beat the crowds.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, and look, being a Ravens fan, the game's typically on at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
If that's televised, I'll stay at home. I will wait until the Seahawks play, and that is when
then go to the grocery store.
I go to the grocery store.
Yep.
I schedule a haircut. I will do everything I can during that window of time that I need to get done.
Oh, yeah.
I know for a fact, number one, the roads are not going to be that crowded.
Nope.
Number two, any place I'll walk into is not going to be that crowded. And number three, by the time I get home, I can watch the second half.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to be able to watch the second half of the Seahawks game, but I'll take that first half, man, and do like 4 or 5 different things that I've just been putting off, whether it's dropping clothes off at the Goodwill. There's no lines. There's nothing going on, man. It's dead to me.
Oh, every football. I have this conversation with my wife. You know, if it's Sunday, like, hey, we need to do blank. I'm like, the Ravens game's on, and like you said, typically it's an earlier game. I'm like, at 1 o'clock, I'm good, and we get a 3.5 hour window where it's not going to be super crowded. But I'm not doing anything when the Ravens are on, and I don't want to do anything before the Seahawks are on because every place is packed.
Yeah. Do you know when you're a kid and your parents would always tell you to turn whatever you have down as far as the volume goes? If you're listening to music, if you're watching the television, it's too close, it's too loud, whatever the hell the deal. I swear to you, if I talk, I hope they don't listen to the show. When I talk to my mom and my dad, and I talk to them differently, they're different households, but I call them every weekend. And I have to tell them to turn the volume down on the television because it is so loud.
Yeah.
I can barely hear them. I mean, it is, and my uncle too, I called him the other day, and it was so freaking loud. I was like, Jesus, man. I know how close your television is to your couch. You've got that thing on like 30.
I don't understand why they can't just acknowledge, like my mom called me yesterday, right? Same thing. We check it on the weekends. It's like, just turn it down before you call me. Because naturally, I just go, where are you?
Are you in a bar?
Right, it sounds like there's something going on. It just is the TV's so loud.
Our parents were with us for 2 weeks over Christmas, and the reminder, my dad gets up early, but the reminder they were there is that I can hear the news blasting into my bedroom, and he's in the basement. And it's like that, man, I know you're going deaf, but, seriously, dude, just turn on the closed captioning.
Yeah.
I would say the other thing is, too, is I don't know if it's an old person hat, but I'm obsessed with the weather. But that is like an old man thing. But it's like I got to check it every day.
Yeah, but you've always
been
interested in
right, but that is an old person thing. Like,
the weather. But the real old person thing to me, and I hate this about myself, but everyone I know around my age, we now do it. So when I'm growing up, my grandmother, she would say, oh, it's going to rain today. And you're looking outside, the sky is blue. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, my hip's aching on my left side, so it's going to be rain. You're insane. And then when you get older, you realize there is some truth to that. Whatever the air pressure is has an effect on different joints.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Today was bitingly cold in my world. My body's sore. So with the cold, it just penetrates me from the inside. I'm tight. I need to stretch out all the time. It's like I have no blood circulation going on. I'm freezing cold. I'm dressed appropriately, but it just seems like I'm cold a lot.
I'm definitely
I'm sore because of the fact that my body does not heat up.
Actually, yesterday, man, there was an old person moment between me and my wife. We're watching a kid play volleyball. The game ends. All we have to do is stand up because we were sitting down. And both of us individually are like, yeah! As we just looked at her, I'm like, oh, my God, dude. We're done. It's over.
Sometimes laying on a flat floor. I did it Saturday. Just been up, doing stuff all day. And then it was later in the evening. We were watching sports. Like, I'm just lay on this hardwood floor.
Stretch out.
Get a little relief.
Yeah.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Mike, welcome to the program. Random question.
Sure.
Okay, Mike, what would you say is the craziest thing that you've seen while you were driving? What is the craziest
thing I've ever seen while I'm driving?
Yeah.
I guess it'd have to be I was driving one time, and I was behind this van, and the van was falling on this one long road. It went around the lake. It was just a single lane around it. And all of a sudden, the van zipped across the other lane and went to a big old turnout. The van door slid open, and I saw a big old butt, and then I saw diarrhea.
Oh! Damn. I mean, it kind of explains itself, but still, nobody needs to see that.
Why couldn't they have pulled over?
Well, they did. They pulled over.
Oh, okay.
And the lady inside slammed the door open, and she, continued to dump her luggage.
All right. Well, at least they stopped the van. We had a caller last week who was driving a stolen RV, and he had a full refrigerator of beer, and while the RV was moving down the road, he got up from the driver's seat, went back to the refrigerator to get another beer, and then shot that RV off of a cliff.
Yeah, went around the turn. We did not realize he was driving it when he first told the story.
Yeah.
Until he told you, wait a minute, man, were you driving? Yeah, man.
You saw a Jeep with a bunch of people spill out of it.
That was uncomfortable, yeah. It was right around closing time on the bars. I'm around the equivalent of, say, I-5, but on the East Coast. And like anything, when you're young, you stuff as many people in the vehicle as you can, and it started to fishtail a little bit, which was already kind of hinky. And then these people just fell out of it like a freaking pinata, man. So everyone pulls over, and I did not deal with everyone on the scene because different people were dealing with different people. But I remember there's a dude, and he's kind of laying on his side, essentially. And he's like, man, am I all right? I'm like, I don't know, man. Do you think you're okay? He's like, I think so. And he turns over, and like half of his face is gone. It's like two things.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it's, they tell you, like, don't panic, don't tell anyone that. And I'm like, you're going to be just fine.
I saw a guy on a motorcycle, a couple guys. They blow by me, right? And the next guy beside me, the one guy in front of me basically passed me doing a wheelie. So he's going about 80 miles an hour on one wheel. Then the next guy comes by, he's got two wheels down. The next guy, he pops one in front of me, probably about 100 yards. And I can see him pop it. He's in the left-hand lane. And immediately he hits the ground. He's just sliding on his ass. And then he popped right back up and started running. Like the way he slid.
Right.
On the bike?
Yeah. He was on his ass, like sitting up on his ass, like just sliding down the interstate. Then he pops up, does a fast run. And so he gets off on the side of the road. And when we were going by him, his bike had landed and was still upright and going down along the Jersey wall of the interstate. Like the damn thing was still, he didn't get to it by the time it fell over. But when we drove by it,
it's still going.
It's still going down the highway with nobody driving it. The reason we ask craziest thing you've seen while driving, we go to Michigan. A man recently drove around with what looked to be a dead giraffe in the back of his pickup truck.
All right.
Pictures posted online of the strange incident caused confusion and led to a statement from the driver. Hey guys, my buddy was on his way home from work and saw what appears to be a real deceased giraffe in the bed of someone's truck, according to Nathan Szymanski, in a now deleted post on Facebook. Does anybody know anything about this? Is this even real? What was I seeing there? Now, the post was shared in various groups, with some users expressing outrage over a dead exotic animal, which is not native to the U.S. Had the poor giraffe been hunted and killed? How did it get to North America? The outcry led to taxidermist Darren Werner setting the record straight and sharing behind-the-scenes photos of his work on the long-necked giraffe. He told Fox 2...
Damn, is there a short-necked giraffe? It's like insulting, you know what I mean? The long-necked giraffe.
The animal had died of old age in the zoo, and he had been commissioned by an unnamed museum to prepare the giraffe for display.
Okay.
All right. He actually had a huge-ass dead giraffe in the back of his pickup truck with a neck hanging out. My job is to preserve them so they can be appreciated forever, adding that by the time he received the giraffe, it was no different than leather, but with hair on it. Some people may find it strange or different, but to me, it's art. And that's what he does for a living.
I mean, if you don't know that, that's a little weird.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut out the categories today. We have the worst states for dental health and the unhealthiest foods on the planet coming up at 4:30. And emails on the way, too, from the men's room at KISW.com.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Ever walked past a place for rent and wish you could just peek inside? Maybe even explore the layout? Envision the natural light streaming through the windows? Or plan where your vinyl record collection would go? At Apartments.com, you can. With tools like their 3D virtual tours, you can see the exact unit you'd be living in. Really envision yourself in your new home with Apartments.com. The place to find a place.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads-Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hawaii is beautiful, but Tahiti is unforgettable. Take off to paradise from the United States, starting at $750 per person with Air Tahiti Nui. This limited-time deal includes round-trip, all-inclusive service to Tahiti. Visit airtahitinui.com. That's airtahitinui.com.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed. Yeah, a.k.a. you're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
We'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, hey, can you put the game on? At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count up at 4:30, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
A couple of birthdays, old gentlemen. Today, my grandson Marcus turned 16. Now, yesterday, he got his driver's license and got to drive to school on his own for the first time today. So could I please ask for Miles doing a I Do Declare, a jingle from the Johnsons, a fart montage, and Coach Ted laying down some advice for his first weeks of independence in the way of driving. We love you, Marcus. Happy 16th birthday, my man, from Neen and Grandpa. Rock on, guys. I love you long time. That from the Jackster.
You, your girl, and your Johnson.
Do declare.
All right, 16, you just got that license. Number one, I don't think it's legal, but don't be driving with a bunch of friends in the car, right? They're going to be idiots. They're going to distract you. Number two, no text message is worth dying for or getting into a car accident for. You don't want to rear end somebody because you're texting back that girl you maybe had a crush on in 7th grade. Third of all, you're in high school. I don't want to know what you're doing on the weekends if you ever imbibe. Never drink and drive. Let's keep it safe. Let's keep it on the road, and God forbid something did happen to you, son. Just call our friends at the Advocates.
Guys, happy Monday. My girlfriend's birthday is today. When you get the chance, if you could give her a shout out to Angel with the Dirty Germans talking about butt stuff. Thanks, guys. That from Nate.
Yeah, oddly enough, this would not be the first Angel that I've experienced butt stuff with. You just part their wings.
Yeah, it's been a very butt stuff days, this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you could put all kinds of things back there. Some even rainbow color.
Yeah, there was part of spitting all the feathers out of your mouth.
Yeah, I have a mink tail.
Michelle's currently in Puerto Vallarta celebrating my 43rd trip around the sun, but a faithful listener for quite a minute, and I've appreciated you guys for getting us through some rough times. If Mike still has Ted's laugh on a loop,
Could he play it over a bong rip? That would be great. If not, no worries. How about an Alan Thicke, a Wendy Williams, and some dad jokes from Miles? You guys are in charge. Cheers, guys. Love what you do, and please continue to keep us sane. That from Sam.
I know exactly what they're talking about. I tried my damnedest. I couldn't find it.
Oh man, that was great.
I had just played it out of the computer here. I didn't make a button for it. I know. I'm glad. I saw that today. I was like, Mike still has it. I'm like, oh, he does it. Oh.
Let's see here.
Some dad jokes. Guys, did you know that diarrhea awareness starts today?
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Runs all week. 7 dwarves were all in a hot tub until Doc, he started to feel sleepy. Then Sleepy got out.
I did convince my girl to get a tattoo of a wild garlic bulb just above her butt.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. It's a ramp stamp.
Okay. All right.
That's a deep one, dude.
She also said that having a tiny penis is not a big deal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, personally, I just wish you didn't have one at all. What do you call a deaf person that pissed you off?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, if I cover my mouth, right, I could insult them in a lot of ways.
I can read lips, mother.
I could go into a deaf party and say whatever I want.
I'm not deaf.
Right? Keep dropping the N-bomb.
Hey, dude, I can hear.
Oh, no.
I have to kill that guy now.
I do like a woman who takes charge in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah? Because I don't carry cash. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line now. For your guess is as good as mine at 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, as we wait for a contestant, a couple extra emails. A big fan, it says, possibly a thrill sighting. Hola, gentlemen. I just wanted to reach out and let you know I'm a big fan of all the hard work you do, and I've been a loyal listener since I was a teenager, and I'm now 25. When days get tough, nothing cheers me up more than hearing you all in the afternoon. Also, I think I ran into Thrill at the Emerald City Comic-Con on Saturday. I was going up the escalator. He was coming down. I said, "Is that Steve the Thrill Hill?" To which the person responded with a hand-fist flourish. "Was that you, Steve? If so, it was the best moment of the entire con for me. Keep up the great work, and thanks for all the laughs." That from Brandon, the cameraman in Tacoma, who says, "P.S. Love the Men's Room IPA. I drink that stuff all the time."
Yeah, that was me. I remember the moment.
What was he dressed up as?
I don't remember what he's dressed up as. I just heard a voice because I wasn't looking at him or going by. And it didn't seem like he was saying it to me. It seemed like he was asking someone, but he goes, "Is that Steve the Thrill Hill?" And because our escalators go in opposite directions, by the time I turned around, he's now 15, 20 feet away. But yeah, just threw up the deuces.
What would you say, honestly, was your knowledge on the characters? Did you know 20% of what people were dressed up as? Was it?
I don't think I could even hit 20%. I mean, look, man, as far as I go, like if you're Star Wars, anything, even the Emperor's Guards, there was a guy dressed like that, and I thought, bit of a reach, but if you're a Star Wars fan, cool. So all the Star Wars stuff I know, Star Trek stuff I recognize, Marvel and DC superheroes, right? All the garden variety stuff. So if you're dressed as Deadpool, I know goddamn well it's Deadpool.
Sure, yeah.
The difference was my daughter was dressed as Black Garlic Cookie. Name the franchise. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Apparently it's a game, not a TV show, whatever. She was recognized by a few people there. She didn't think anyone would recognize her costume, but a few people recognized it, and that made her day.
Cookie? Black Garlic Cookie?
Black Garlic Cookie.
I think it's the game Cookie Run.
Cookie Run. Okay, so I saw her commiserating with some other chick who, you could tell they're dressed kind of similar, but they weren't the same character. And I said, "Oh, is she from the same game?" And of course, this irritated my daughter, who's like, "It's a different franchise, Dad." I'm like, "Okay,
Jesus,
my bad. I'm trying.
Oh,
So,
you probably ran into like cauliflower cookie and cherry bomb cookie and white ghost cookie.
Brother, it is very, very possible. Like I said, times have changed, all right? So there are Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC characters. Most of us can identify them. After that, there's some really cool costumes. Like, I have no idea what you are. The one thing I do remember most from Comic-Con, and I feel bad if this guy's listening, but you're walking around, it's kind of an exhausting day. They got a few places you can plop down on a sofa or a stool. This guy was on a stool, and he's scrolling through his phone. He's dressed as Spider-Man, and I thought, this is what Spider-Man looks like if he puts on 180 pounds. Mm-hmm. That was the thought that went through my mind. Dude, it was the biggest freaking Spider-Man. And
not much action in New York anymore,
it's just weird because, like, it's Spider-Man, but this guy was a big dude under there. I'm like, wow. Okay.
It's also weird because, like, I know they're just normal people, but they're dressed in characters. So whatever his size is, it's just odd to see Spider-Man taking a blow.
Right.
I'm like, catching his air.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, did he tap the side of his mask? Like, hang on. I need some.
Actually, the greatest thing I've seen at a Comic-Con, and it's stupid, but a guy had a Predator outfit. This was not this particular Comic-Con, but, like, he had spent money on that, so he looked spitting image of the Predator. I'm behind him on the escalator, and when you imagine a Predator, man, this thing could kill you in a heartbeat. Or they get lost in the convention center. So he gets to the top of the escalator, and you see him looking around, trying to find, you know how you kind of move your hands around as you're trying to errantly point at a sign that doesn't exist? And you see this guy just pointing around, trying to find what he's looking for. You can tell by his body language he's getting frustrated. He just can't find where he needs to go. And I'm like, it just kind of killed the Predator for me. You know what I mean? You went from being this lethal thing to any lost old man.
Well, how about when Deadpool and Viola?
Oh, yeah. Deadpool. And this guy, I don't know how much he spent on his outfit. Right? Dead ringer for Deadpool, which he's not alone, but this particular Deadpool walks by and he's just like, hola. And I'm like, that feels kind of cool. Yeah, hola, Deadpool.
Couple extra ones. Losing time from last week's show. Gentlemen.
Don't laugh at me, Ted. I'm telling you. It's weird in the moment. You're like, Deadpool just said hola.
You know, years ago, I did like, what was it? Washington Stealth was like the indoor professional lacrosse league.
All right.
Up in Everett. So I hosted like a mascot night or whatever. But same thing, like you're backstage afterwards. And like they had been playing lacrosse. So some of them were like taking off their heads and stuff. It's like, it's hot out there, Ted. I'm like,
you're
right. Just put the head back on, man. It looks weird. Don't talk to me like this.
Gentlemen, as far as losing time, my third year of college, I partook in a little booger sugar with a group of friends. Came out in the morning to smoke a cigarette. My neighbor's girlfriend was out there. She looked at me with this astonished look on her face and said, "You're alive?" It turns out she'd come into my apartment the morning before and tried to wake me up by jumping up and down in the bed so she could use my shower due to the fact that her boyfriend's apartment hot water and the heater was out. I guess I'd been asleep for close to 24 hours. Didn't think anything of it. Finished my cigarette and went back inside. That one from Ramona. One more. Guys, I'm listening to Friday's podcast on the Odyssey app. You were talking to a caller about sleep paralysis, which I've had hundreds of times since I was 17. I'm 34 now, and I love sleep paralysis. I was scared of it until I was about 23, and one time I was lucid enough to know I was in paralysis and started feeling fear and couldn't move. Now, since I've had 1 foot in the dream realm and 1 foot in reality, when I start to feel the fear, scary things started to manifest in my dream based on my emotion of fear. And I could see a trench coat in my closet turning into a demon coming towards me. And as soon as the lucid part of me that had 1 foot in reality knew, I was in paralysis and told my dream self, Jean, you are just in sleep paralysis. That's not a demon. That's your trench coat. And the demon disappeared. As soon as I controlled my emotions, I started to float out of my body, and my astral body could fly around. That is how I learned how to astral project. I've been astral projecting for years, and I've tried telling people about it, but they look at me like I'm strange. I've only met one other person in my life who also has been able to do this. But yeah, I wanted to share the story. Nothing to fear in paralysis. You can either create a nightmare or be in control of your dream reality. You guys rock that from John.
I turned my trench coat into Gal Gadot. Really, get over here, gal.
Well, ironically enough, John looks a lot like her.
How long do you stay in the paralysis?
I don't know. I really don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, but even if it's 2 minutes, it's got to be a long 2 minutes.
All right, time for Low Your Guess As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. You get picked from one of 2 categories and try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant, ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
God, I almost don't want to go to him because this song rocks. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. And your guess is as good as mine. Okay, Mike, your categories today. We have the states with the worst dental health in the United States. They factored in several metrics: percentage of adults and adolescents who regularly visit the dentist, number of dentists, dental clinics, treatment cost, consumption of sugary drinks. So we have the bottom 10 worst states for dental health. This is actually a lot easier of a category than you would imagine.
Yeah.
Then from eatthis.com, they put out a list of the 100 unhealthiest foods on the planet. They are your basic, average, regular day-to-day snack foods and foods. There are 10 of those. So would you rather go with the unhealthiest foods on the planet or the 10 worst dental health states in the United States?
Let's go with the worst food.
Worst foods on the planet.
Yeah.
According to eatthis.com, the unhealthiest foods on the planet are listed below. A lot of them are snack foods and foods that we eat every single day.
What are some of the examples of ones that are not in your top 10?
Not in the top 10, but in with the top 100. Coffee creamer, barbecue sauce, frozen dinners, ketchup, granola, fast food smoothies, both bottled and fresh, believe it or not. Also on the list, dried fruit.
I've heard that, man.
For whatever, dried fruit.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Swear to God. Okay, so Mike, you know how the game is played. The category is the 10 unhealthiest foods on the planet. So far today, I have had one of these foods.
Okay.
Available in the office, on the kitchen counter.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So basically,
You're welcome.
Mike, it's your tried and true stuff. It's nothing too complicated on this. But you know what's unhealthy and what is it.
So let's start with chips.
Potato chips are the number one unhealthiest food on the planet.
Damn.
Wow.
According to eatthis.com. Now you are in the right ballpark.
Jeez.
All right? Stick where you are and you're going to be good.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
Chips.
Potato chips, number one.
How about donuts?
How about donuts at number 8? I think you've got this one kind of figured out.
I don't know.
I did pretty good so far, man.
Candy bars.
Candy bars. Believe it or not in the top 10.
I would go cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like chips,
Yeah.
cookies, donuts.
Yeah, let's go cookies.
Number 6. I ate that whole box of Samoas when I found them.
The ones on the counter?
No, the ones that I had in my house.
Oh.
I ate them in one night. I came downstairs the next day and I'm like, oh my God, I ate the entire box of these things. Jesus.
Oreos.
There's only like 9 of them.
Oreo cookies.
Oreos are a cookie.
Yeah, no, they're like 4. I think there's 16 in there, Samoa-wise. Good work.
They're delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, so far you got 3 out of 10. Donuts at 8, cookies at 6, potato chips at number 1.
How about soda? Well, that's not a food, though, right?
No, it's
soda?
not a food. Not a food.
I mean,
shoot.
Just guessed on this list so far. But I would think like pizza?
Oh, yeah, food. Pizza. Pizza's probably not very good for you.
Not the worst.
No.
Not pizza.
Believe it or not.
I'm guessing something like maybe like ice cream or cake or pie.
How about a bacon cheeseburger?
How about a bacon cheeseburger? That comes in at number 5. Fast food burgers.
Damn. Really?
What always goes good with a burger? What do you like with a burger?
French fries,
Number
baby.
4.
Jeez.
There you go. All the good stuff.
And I'm making burgers tonight.
Yes.
Sorry, kids.
Let's see.
here. Okay. Mike, I'll give you a hint here since you got 2 strikes. 2 left are very, very basic desserts, like elementary school basic desserts at maybe, I don't know, a kid's birthday party.
Like popsicles or
cake.
Cake.
Cake is number 10.
Number 10.
What goes good with cake?
Oh, man, don't say
Ice cream.
Ice cream's number 9. So far, you're correct with cake at 10, ice cream at 9, donuts at 8. We've got cookies at 6, burgers at 5, French fries at 4, and potato chips number 1. So there are 3 foods that are unhealthy remaining. You've got 2 strikes against you and 7 out of 10 correct on the unhealthiest foods on the planet.
Let's see here.
I'll give you a hint. You were closer with burgers than anything else. It's more of a main course, so to speak, in that realm.
Like a
Burgers,
taco or a burrito or something?
Yeah. Yeah, how about let's go with tacos.
Tacos. Actually, they're pretty good for you. That's 3rd strike. Tacos are not the worst.
Not bad, man.
Close to like a steak?
Steaks, not
hot
on the
dogs.
list. Hot dogs are number
Close
3.
to hamburger.
Processed meats. Bacon, hot dogs, everything you would put in between slices of what?
Bread.
What kind of bread specifically?
Brioche
White bread.
White bread number 2 on the list. There's
Jeez.
one more. The reason we know this one more is because seemingly it doesn't seem like it's that heavy. There are cancerous agents, whether you work in the plant, whether you inhale this stuff when you open the bag when it's done cooking. You don't think it's bad for you.
Microwaved
popcorn.
Microwave popcorn is the
every goddamn thing I like.
Unhealthiest food on the planet. So here they are.
It's not that unhealthy.
If you want to hear them, cake is number 10,
Like
ice
it.
cream at 9, donuts 8, microwave popcorn
Love it.
7, cookies 6,
Love it.
fast food burgers at 5,
Love it.
French fries come in at number 4,
Love it.
number 3, your processed meats, bacon
it.
and hot dogs, white bread number 2, and potato chips is the number 1 unhealthiest food on the planet.
Doesn't that just sound like the average American diet on the fly? Not if you're
maybe
sitting down to
except
cook,
for
but
microwave popcorn and cake.
right.
Only because cake, I feel like you got to have
an occasion.
Right, like they sell slices of cake at the store, but I feel like you'd be more apt to buy ice cream
Then a
than
slice
you
of
would
carrot
just
cake or something.
yeah. So I
Still
feel like
unhealthy.
cake, yeah, and then I don't know.
Donuts by the dozen. Completely unhealthy. Potato chips, man.
That's number 1.
They're the worst.
They are the worst.
I mean, look, basically, if it's got its own aisle, you're screwed.
That, you know what, man? That's a good way to point it out.
Yep. Coming up at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Look around. What do you see? Cars, lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars and used cars, electric cars. And one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions of options to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it. AutoTrader.
There's one thing that will forever change the way you sleep, and it's the softest, 100% organic cotton bedding from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster, wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again with airy blankets, cloud-like duvets, and breathable sheets. You'll experience pure comfort on night 1 and feel your bedding get softer with every wash. Discover the difference with 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com with code Odyssey. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Slow drain being a pain? Call Pinky. That pipe's being a little leaky? Call Pinky. When the toilet won't flush and you're in a rush? Call Pinky. When your shower lost all its spray power? Call Pinky. When your sink's on the blink? Call Pinky. Pinky's Plumbing promises to lick all your plumbing problems quick. So when your plumbing backs up and things get stinky, call Pinky's. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
At LinkedIn, we know hiring is a big deal for your small business. Sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. LinkedIn uses data that you can't find anywhere else to give you the best candidates, all so you can feel confident you're hiring the best person for the job. And even a little hiring bliss. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/message. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0.99% APR for 60 months or $7,500 EV bonus on the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, to count of 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. A new study found that 25% of people would be cool with their partner having sex with a robot that looked like them.
Wait, so my wife's having sex with the robot, but the robot looks like me.
Correct.
Well, no wonder people are a little more like, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I don't know. I'd find that weird.
It is weird, but I think I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't you want a robot that looked like somebody else?
Yes! They're not cool with that
Did they ask
one.
that?
Right.
Yes, can I pick what the robot looks like?
I'm not something that you want the robot to emulate. You want actually something good.
I mean, my wife why are you having sex with the robot? But maybe it looks just like you.
I know.
A little more, but why does it look like, Mila Kunis, whatever her name is? We're like, well, you know.
I know you're settling with me. Don't get a robot that looks like me.
Right.
You know that hall pass I'm trying not to give you? Get that.
Exactly.
Well, but here's the thing, okay? So most of the time people go, okay, it looks like someone else. We always rattle off celebrities. And you go, okay, we understand most celebrities are good looking. That's why they're celebrities. So if it's George Clooney, you go like, well, what if you found it's like your neighbor down the street? I'm not having sex with the neighbor down the street. I'm having sex with the robot that looks a lot like Doug, who lives 3 doors down.
I feel like
That'd be weird.
I feel like if they would make the robot Doug, you already know that the robot's going to be Doug.
Do you, though?
Yeah.
I feel like
They've said something.
No, they haven't. They don't mind bringing up celebrities because that's so far out of the realm of anything that's ever really going to happen for you, right? But if you're like, wait a minute, man, is that Kevin from accounting? And you're like, yeah, it's Kevin from accounting. I'm just telling you, you have a much different feel about it.
Oh, jeez.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's
where it's like, right? I don't know. Or if you date somebody that looks like somebody else, you know, it's like don't mention that again, please.
Yeah, the upgrade.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like you, but better looking.
There's a blogger that has a piece in the Huffington Post talking about his woes after leaving the country to move to France.
But he left voluntarily.
Yeah.
Well, then shut up.
They'd been teasing the idea of moving to France, and this was like early on last year.
Okay.
So you got the election that's coming up, and he knows that this country's going to be in all kinds of turmoil. It already was at the point, and blah, 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 and all the issues. And so they moved to France and fell in love with the baguettes and the wine drinking and the views and the da-da-da-da-da-da and the culture and all that. He says...
The culture or the tourism angle?
Within a couple months, all of a sudden, we started seeing cracks in the way of life.
Yes!
And I started missing things from home. Like, I know things at home were not doing all that well, but I missed the friendly nature of the Americans back home as opposed to the cold nature of the French people. And
how can you
you moved to a different country in a different culture?
Exactly. Within the year, they were back here.
You fell in love with the tourism angle.
Within the year, they were back here.
I went to Niagara Falls. It was a wonderful experience. Niagara, New York is an S-hole. You don't want to be there unless you're at the falls for a day.
Exactly.
No one puts out a travel brochure that says, look, we're going to tell you everything that's wrong.
Right. And that's kind of where I was going. Like, there's nothing wrong with living in France. There's nothing wrong with living anywhere else. It's totally fine. But even within this country, there's nothing wrong with living in the different little pockets that we got. However, it's different than the way that you've lived before. Like you said, when you go there, it's all sunshine and rainbows. Anywhere, I would love to go live in Vegas. I have a great time every time I go to Vegas.
Every single time.
Because I'm on vacation.
Right, that's a big difference, right?
Exactly.
Like one of the best weekends of my life was the Florida-Georgia game in Jacksonville.
Boom.
I have no desire to live in Jacksonville. We had a blast. I've been to a night game at LSU. I have no desire to live in Baton Rouge.
Neither do the people
They
in
were
Baton
great
Rouge.
weekends. I liked all the people. Like, there's nothing, I couldn't bitch about it. Now, Milwaukee, I visited. It's a bit of a bigger city. But, again, I don't know enough about Milwaukee to be like, I'm moving here.
Right. Well, I will say this about Vegas and what you were saying. I do have a couple friends that have moved down there recently.
Yeah.
They never go down to the Strip. Unless there is maybe one show a year that one of them really wants to see. And they'll go see, like, the Eagles at the Sphere or whatever.
Maybe
right?
their friends are in town and they'll all go.
But other than that, they have a really great life. And Las Vegas is so spread out, and there's so many other sections. They love their life down there.
Absolutely.
They're not involved.
But they're not on the Strip.
They're not gambling every night. They're not drinking, doing drugs every night. They have a house with a pool, and they just love living in their community.
I mean, how many times do you go to the Space Needle?
Since I've lived my entire life, I think I can count 3 times I've been to the
Or even the
Space
waterfront.
Needle.
We have a gorgeous waterfront.
We do.
And if people visit from out of town, I am reminded of that.
Right.
Pike Place Market is the exception. But other than
I'll go there because you can
My
actually
place
save
you
money.
go to, but Thrill's right. I mean, I do it in Seattle, right? Like, Mike and I, before Christmas, we went down to the Crab Pot.
Yep.
I like going to the Crab Pot. And, like, that bartender, I started BSing with him, had my old bay. He's like, I do remember you. But, like, he's like, dude, it's mostly just tourists to come in here.
Exactly.
Some of the restaurants down there are great. I'm with you. I just don't think about going to the waterfront.
Never.
You know what? I could keep doing this, Mike.
Oh, yeah?
And the waterfront is
well,
5 blocks away from where we work.
I think about going to Pike Place Market to shop, to buy groceries,
it's
not to go
utilitarian.
down there and eat lunch.
Exactly.
And it has great restaurants in that area.
Right. I went to New
I've
Jersey
never
last
been to
year.
Post Alley Pizza. I love pizza.
I went to New Jersey last year. I had a wonderful time. I enjoyed myself immensely. I have zero desire to go and live in New Jersey.
How about Greensboro, North Carolina?
I kind of like Greensboro.
I was going to say, you give a glowing review.
I do, man. I really like it out there. A new study found that consuming citrus fruits helps your depression by improving your gut health.
Really?
All right. But again, it's kind of the same old song and dance. Like, improve your health and your mentals will come along with it.
Right.
Like,
right.
that's kind of the preliminary thing. Like, I'm depressed. Okay, let's start by seeing if we can get your overall health a lot better and see if that doesn't help it. If not, all right, let's talk to somebody and let's get this other thing figured out. Take care of yourselves. Warner Brothers has offered to replace people's DVDs that have rotted while sitting in their collection. Side note, DVDs can rot.
I was going to ask, did you know this?
It was between, like, DVDs that were made between 06 and 08 or something like that.
Different material.
That small window, yeah. They made it with some sort of material that, whether it was how they were being stored or maybe something got worn down after enough use, but whatever it was, they were actually starting to mold.
How many people still have a bunch of DVDs? I know there are some people that do. It's like, I like vinyl, so I understand everyone has, like, their niche, but still...
I've pared down my collection quite a bit, but I still have a lot of DVDs.
How many do you think you have?
Do I think I have in DVDs? I've got to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 DVDs.
All right. Do you ever watch them?
No.
Or yeah, exactly. But you just kind of keep them.
No. And then the more I start paring it down, like this last movie was like, I'm just going to get rid of the DVDs. And the wife says, don't get rid of mine. Like, we don't watch them at all, man.
My wife won't let me part with her cassette tapes. I'm like, I don't know that we have a machine to play these.
Right.
I'm not going to invest, and I'm sure to invest in one would be $15. You know what? I should buy her.
There you go.
A tape player and be like, here's your cassette.
And then you place a bet on how many of them are actually going to work, having sat there that long. Exactly, dude. That stuff doesn't just hang out and do well.
It does not.
According to research, when your spouse expresses positive emotions, it lowers your stress levels.
No effing kidding.
Yeah, that adds up perfectly.
Huh. They should have a saying like, happy wife, happy life or something.
Oh!
And when she's mad, my stress goes up.
Yeah. Funny how that works. You don't freaking say.
We may be misreading our dog's emotions by correlating external factors that really don't matter at all. You know, you got your dog, she's an absolute psychopath. So you look at her, oh man, she's stressed out because of the noises outside. No, she's stressed out because she's got to pee. You know,
everyone anthropomorphizes their pets.
They do.
Oh, I know my dog's thinking. No, you don't.
Should have never done that last shot of Yagi.
Right. Not the 15 before.
The 8 beers. 12 tequilas, I can say.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that Jaeger really messed me up.
It's kind of the difficulty with a pet is you do your best to kind of figure out what it is that they got going on, but let's face it, it's all just guessing.
You just get, there's certain things that I know for a fact I need to go out.
Right.
There's a way she indicates to me because she has learned my behavior. If I do this, he actually gets up and takes me outside, right? But beyond that, like, I don't know what she's thinking. Every once in a while, I'm sitting on the sofa. She's sitting next to me. She's just staring at me.
Right.
And I will put words into her brain, but I know damn well that is not what she's thinking.
We all in this room have had a pet at one time or another in our life. How many of us have sat there, stared at him, and went, what?
I do that every day at least once.
What do you want?
Well, and you're right. Sometimes, especially I feel like with bigger dogs, they'll just sit on the couch and look at you. It's like, what, dude?
Right.
Like, we just went out. I know you've eaten. Like, what?
Right.
You know what? I don't want to know what that dog's thinking.
I don't either, my Billy. You crusty ass son of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, another beer.
Yeah. Oh, Sunday. We're not going to shower till 2. Huh? Gonna lay around and be a piece of crap till then. All right.
I guess we're not getting the laundry done.
Damn.
Or that same shirt the last 3 days in a row.
Damn it. I have a sensitive nose. I wish you'd appreciate that.
Called that chick back yet?
You're going to fart in 15 seconds. I know it, and you don't. I can hear it moving through your intestines because of my... And there it is.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Go from the bed to the couch. There you go.
Well, some people, too, with dogs are just like... Right, like I've said this before. Like, a lot of people in my family have pit bulls, right? So I went to see my one... Now, I have not been to my cousin's house. Her husband is there. Their baby is there. I walked in first. The dog was not happy.
No.
And everybody's like, well, the dog usually likes you. But I said, well, the dog needs to get to know me first. All this dog knows is there's two strangers walking in because Joe was like in the kitchen. Right, that's why I was like, Tom, you know this dog. Say hi to it so it knows that we're not just like breaking in.
Right.
And it was the dog was fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
NASA has given us many a thing over the last few decades. Technological advancements. They took us to the doggone moon. But what if I told you? Velcro. You know what? You're tracking right along with me there, Steve.
I'll shut up.
The Men's Room
Come on,
Top
Steve.
10.
10.
I know.
The Men's Room Top 10. 10 NASA inventions we use every day. NASA focuses considerable effort addressing pressure and viscous drag. That's the force of friction that slows down a moving object through a substance like air or water or other organic tubes and perhaps tunnels. I, too, have been experimenting in the field of fluid dynamics since I was 12. One globule at a time.
God. Thank you, VD. Okay, so these are NASA inventions that we use each and every day that you might not have known came from NASA. Home insulation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know that came from NASA? Closely related to the insulative properties of the space blankets is the use of the NASA technology in home insulation. Many companies make radiant barrier styles of insulation based on the technology first developed in the late 60s to help insulate Apollo-era astronauts from the temperature extremes of space.
Yeah, it's like, 3 to 5 degrees warmer than absolute zero in the vacuum of space. And when you put them in a metal tube, they're like, it's cold.
Absolutely.
So they came up with insulation, and then it's a cheap, effective way to keep things warm.
Improved tires. In the 1970s, a collaboration between NASA and Goodyear Tire to develop stronger materials for parachute shrouds used on the Viking landers led to improved tires for everyone. When the fibers were used in radial tire design, it yielded a tire with 5 times the strength of a traditional steel radial tire and boosted the tread life.
See, I figured that'd be like for the space shuttle. And you'd have to have just really strong tires to land that heavy of an aircraft.
That's right.
But that's not the case.
That's not the case at all. Yeah. It does just fine. Invisible braces come to us from NASA. Let's see here. Wait a minute. No. Hang on. The memory foam connection and freeze-dried foods may have a fairly well-known NASA connection, but most people don't realize Invisalign and similar invisible braces do as well. The material in question is TPA, as they call it. It was originally discovered by NASA while researching ultra-strong polymers that could cover radar equipment without diminishing signal transmission.
Okay.
So there you go. I don't know how they figured out that, hey, let's put it on teeth, but, it works. They improved your smoke detectors.
All right. Yeah, I can see that.
Ionization smoke detectors are the most popular type of smoke detectors in the world, and we can thank a collaboration between NASA and Honeywell in the 1970s for improving them. That collaboration focused on creating smoke alarms for Skylab that would detect fires but not generate false alarms, which led to what were originally advertised as no-nuisance smoke detectors when Honeywell brought them into the market.
Until the battery's low.
That's right. Eat meat.
I bet you even on a tiny-ass space station, like, God damn it, which one of these is it?
Inventions that NASA created that we use each and every day: cordless vacuums and power tools.
Makes sense.
Introduced to the market in 1979, the Black & Decker Dust Buster was quite a novelty. It was a tiny handheld vacuum that ran off an internal battery. That doesn't sound amazing today. Practically everything is handheld and battery-powered now, but it kicked off a battery-powered revolution in home appliances and power tools.
Yeah. I like those ones that, man, if you just stick with the same brand.
Right, the battery's interchangeable.
You can use those things in about 4 or 5 different,
I'm a Ryobi man myself.
My lawnmower is battery-powered.
Yeah.
I just keep that thing plugged in all the time. Like, this is great. No gas, no crap.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Better baby formula. NASA did not invent baby formula, but research into inexpensively and safely improving the nutritional value of food served to astronauts in space did. Back in the 80s, NASA and the Martin Marietta Corporation were researching the use of microalgae for a variety of purposes, including food, oxygen generation, and waste disposal, all in a bid to make extended stays in orbit and beyond feasible. In the process, they discovered that a key fatty acid could be mass-produced using algae strains, and they later found a way to produce another key fatty acid using fungus.
And see, a lot of people, they'll bitch, like, why don't they spend any money on NASA? Because the only thing they picture is space, which I understand, but it's like, okay, well, you hear about the space stuff because those are the big ticket items, but all of the research that goes into making these things sustainable, you are using around your house.
Absolutely. Freeze-dried foods makes complete sense.
Because companies aren't going to invest in this kind of thing.
No.
They're never going to make things more convenient. They're just not, right?
No.
NASA, it's like, how do we do things on a super tight budget with a lot of oversight and to keep people alive?
Exactly. Clamshell laptops. While NASA did not invent portable computers, the organization had a key influence in the very early years of laptop development. Way back in the infancy of both the personal computer and portable computer markets, NASA and other U.S. agencies contracted with a company called Grid Systems to secure access to their rugged clamshell computer. The Grid Compass, as it were, featuring a 320 by 240 pixel screen, an Intel 8086 processor, 340 kilobytes of RAM, and support for external hard drive and floppy drive modules.
I'm telling you, man, they do more. They have a whole website. If you saw the things that you use every day that NASA is responsible for, you would not question it. You'd question why we fund other companies to do things.
Absolutely. Just all the side stuff they come up with.
100%.
All the time, man. All the time.
Another one that makes sense. You see people walking around with them all the time. You see them especially on buses and planes and whatnot. Wireless headphones.
Boom.
Spend any time in a business environment, and you're bound to come across the name Plantronics. Rebranded to Poly in recent years. Their wireless headsets are as stable in offices everywhere, and back in the 60s, NASA contracted with a research lab, ITT Labs, to develop a portable wireless radio system to ensure that astronauts were not dependent only on ship-based communications.
Yep.
There you go.
The kids walking around with their AirPods or whatever.
Yep.
Understand where it came from.
Memory foam. That wonderful thing that you're sleeping on there. Developed back in the 60s, Temper foam was originally intended to provide deep and body-conforming cushioning to test pilots and NASA aircraft, and later for astronauts to protect them from the intense pressures of space launches and the body-rattling impact of returning to Earth in recovery capsules. Took it for years and a few revisions to the original foam formula, mostly to tweak it to be less insulative, but eventually memory foam became ubiquitous.
How do you think they did that research?
Yeah.
You open the capsule and go like, my freaking back. Okay, keep working on that.
And then this is the last NASA invention that we use every day, and it's in your pocket, cell phone cameras.
Yep, that makes sense.
It all started back in the 90s at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab when a team led by NASA scientists successfully miniaturized a complementary metal oxide semiconductor sensor. These sensors were clearly superior to the charge-coupled device sensors in use at the time, but adoption was fairly slow.
Do you realize NASA inevitably is responsible for Instagram?
You know what? That's actually very true.
Do they want that on them?
Oh, I guarantee you they don't. But, it leads to bigger industry. They start it, then companies figure out a way to monetize it. Because that's one thing, part of NASA's contract. They can't monetize their inventions. So they'll invent this stuff, and because it's a government thing. So technically the government can't do that. And because it's a government organization, trust me, I had a long conversation with the NASA guy, and I swear to God, he did talk like this. Not even making that part up. But he goes, dude, we invented so much crap that people use every day, but we can't monetize it. So a company will basically buy the patent and figure out a way to make it worse and take your money.
Yeah, no kidding. A man in Colorado was arrested because he apparently had a favorite target to steal from there, Miles.
What was his favorite target?
Tell you all about it.
Because he was arrested.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Our headlines are coming up at 5:50, but in the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized.
West
and the
of
men's
Colorado,
room knows
man.
just who it is.
What a weekend.
So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drinking time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk. And Steve the Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today's shot is brought to you by our friends at Black Waving Brewing, proud brewers of Men's Room IPA.
You guys suck.
And the Men's Room 20th anniversary lager. Yes, indeed. Black Waving. Thank you for all you do. Today we toast the story, Miles. You brought it up a little bit earlier, but this is impressive. A man in China, he developed a nosebleed, and due to the best efforts of his girlfriend, they could not get it to stop. So they finally went to the hospital. I don't believe he was in any particular pain. It's just the blood itself would not stop gushing out. So they did a few x-rays, and they realized, oh, my God, there is a severed artery in your face. So, of course, they began grilling him about what could have happened. Were you in an accident or anything? And that's when his girlfriend piped in and said, he's a compulsive nose picker. And she said he did it when he's in bed. He did it when he was at work. He would do it on the bus. He would do it in the car. He would do it while he was watching TV. It's just something that he did. Anyway, as a result of his obsessive nose picking, he ruptured a freaking artery in his face. He's currently lying in a hospital bed. His girlfriend, of course, is there to mock him. But even better for him, she's documenting the whole thing for Chinese social media. So only about 1 billion people get to watch. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. but it can be done. So when you tell your kids to quit picking their nose, tell them you're going to bust an artery and go to the hospital. You might be right. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's ATLASSIAN.com/CONFLUENCE.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hawaii is beautiful, but Tahiti is unforgettable. Take off to paradise from the United States, starting at $750 per person with Air Tahiti Nui. This limited time deal includes round-trip all-inclusive service to Tahiti. Visit airtahitinui.com. That's airtahitinui.com.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, liquor and whores.
Hola, liquor and whores to you, my friend. All right, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories. Today, we offer you interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. Hit me with your best shot, where you guess the unconventional object that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Do a little interior decorating.
All right, we go to California, where a family rushed their Burmese mountain dog to the vet after they noticed that she was vomiting and had a firm, distended abdomen. Also, the otherwise rambunctious pup was lethargic. Now, the vet performed a quick exam and realized that the 7-month-old, that would be Luna, had swallowed something, as dogs do. But Luna immediately had surgery, a gastronomy, to clear the dog's stomach, and an enterotomy to clear her intestines. Oh. Now, luckily, the surgeries were a success, and Luna has made a full recovery. But the question is, what did the dog Luna have inside of her? Did Luna eat a onesie? Did Luna eat 24 socks? Did Luna eat a scrunchie? Or did Luna eat 2 hair ties? So we have a onesie, socks, a scrunchie, or hair ties.
What do you guys think?
I think this dog ate a bunch of socks, dude. Might have been eating them for a while.
24 socks.
24 of them caught up to her, though. Poor pup.
You're saying she ate more, it's just those 24 that did her in.
I'm saying I think she might have been eating socks over a small period of time, somewhere around 20. It really affected her dog system.
I'm going to go with the scrunchie. Just because. I think it's something that could get stuck in the intestines.
Yeah, well, ridiculous as it sounds, I think I'm going to go with the onesie.
Onesie. You know what? I thought about that, too.
Okay. What did Luna, the 7-month-old, swallow there? A onesie, 24 socks, a scrunchie, or 2 hair ties? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is interior decorating. On Profile This, we got a dog that was rushed to the vet after the 7-month-old swallowed a bunch of stuff in the home.
Was it a onesie, 24 socks, a scrunchie, or 2 hair ties?
And Dave, that is the very question that we posed to you. I'll tell you what, Dave, we're going to start with you. You went with the onesie. That sounds ridiculous.
They got a baby.
Oh, Dave, nice job.
Ted, you said socks.
Yeah.
You are correct.
24 socks.
They'll say 24 socks. Now, Miles, you said a scrunchie. Granted, it was 2 scrunchies. You said it seems like you get tangled up. Yeah, you are correct. And in addition to all of that,
2 hair ties.
The dog also ate 2 hair ties. So, yes, the dog ate a onesie, 24 socks, a scrunchie, and 2 hair ties. There's no wrong answer.
That seems like a lot of clothes.
It is. Mm-hmm. Hence, no wrong answers.
Why do you have a 7-month-old dog if you have a person that's in a onesie?
Well, I mean, I'm fine getting a dog if you got a kid. The dogs usually like kids. Wouldn't expect the dog to eat the onesie.
No.
So I would be more apt to think that my kid would crawl over and eat dog food than my dog is going to eat that much of my stuff.
That is a good point. Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted. Bless you.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got the Jimmys,
Fallon and Kibble,
Seth Meyers, Colbert,
Steven,
Bill Maher, Weekend Update, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right that the title. These guys have talented teams of writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
A former Canadian Olympic snowboarder has a $10 million bounty on his head now for selling and running a cocaine dealing business. Proving gold medal or not, this guy knows fresh powder.
The Ted Smith. Cocaine.
Yeah, that's me.
All right.
I gotta find a new connect.
Good Norse, my friend.
Scientists are trying to bring the woolly mammoth back to life by taking a first step to genetically engineering a woolly mouse. Now it's on to step 2, getting it drunk enough to have sex with an elephant.
I'll say Bill Maher.
SNL.
Scientists hoping to revive the extinct woolly mammoth have taken a first step by genetically engineering a long-haired woolly mouse. Now it's on to step 2, getting it drunk enough to have sex with an elephant.
Someone must tell the guy who got arrested for a second time trying to have sex with a train seat, if you want to get off a train, just wait till the next stop.
Bill Maher.
That's Bill Maher.
Someone must tell the man who got arrested for a second time for trying to have sex with a train seat. If you want to get off a train, just wait till the next stop.
Amazon is using AI to dub movies into English from foreign languages like Spanish, Korean, and Sylvester Stallone.
Seth Meyers.
SNL.
We can update.
Amazon Prime has launched a new tool that will use AI to dub movies into English from foreign languages like Spanish, Korean, and Sylvester Stallone.
Third and I were talking to the office, Lady Gaga, which, by the way, we've got to stop saying Lady Gaga.
Why?
Because, like, when I watched it, I kept, like, I expect to hear that now.
Well,
Lady Gaga.
We're the only people to say Lady Gaga. I just feel the classes are up.
I know. I think, well, either other people need to start saying it or we got to stop saying it.
Everyone, it's Lady Gaga.
I do the same thing with a raccoon.
Right. I know. I've started doing that, too. I did that in front of my kids. Like, what? I'm like, a raccoon, dude. Never mind.
But she was pretty good. There were some good skits in there. And then also, to her credit, when she came out and did the monologue, she was very honest, and I thought it was, for somebody that doesn't do comedy, I thought her opening monologue was pretty good.
I'm so happy to be back at SNL. The last time I hosted was in 2013, and every aspect of my performance aged amazingly. There's no need to Google SNL 2013, Lady Gaga featuring R. Kelly. Anyway, I'm an actor now. About selecting films that would showcase my craft as a serious actor. Films such as Joker 2. Apparently people thought it was awesome. Joaquin and I even got nominated for a Razzie, which is an award for the worst films of the year. So we won. For worst on-screen duo. But joke's on them. I love winning things. Everyone here so much, so tonight I promise to act, to sing, and to not do Joker 3.
Jesus. She also did a good job in that monologue, right? Like, now, granted, Lady Gaga is only 38.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of new pop stars, and like some of them you could tell kind of took her way of going about it. Remember, Lady Gaga got really famous because she started in all these gay dance clubs.
Yeah.
Then her music got super popular. A lot of the music, if you like Southern rap from like the early 2000s and stuff, those guys would go to strip clubs and go, hey, play my record, and then hopefully the girls would like to dance to them. So going through the gay clubs, you could see it now with like, I can never say her name.
Chapel Roan.
As the first you can see her influence on that. So again, she's only 38. But she was talking about, pop stars, thinking pop stars are getting too old. And then she sat there and named pop stars. They obviously were fake ages. But Chaperone was like 70. She's 75. Like basically like, all right, I know I'm old for a pop star.
I like the new song Abracadabra. I think it's really good. Sounds like really old school Lady Gaga.
It sounded like disco to me, but I like it.
I think it's an awesome tune.
She always teeters on that line too. Plus the thing is, credit to her and anybody that hosts and does the musical guest. Because I don't think people realize, like, they're going through those skits so quickly.
Yeah.
You're running from one set to the other thing. And then,
As
like,
soon as you're done.
right. And, like, her second performance, man, there was a lot of, like, they were, like, holding her up. She was doing a lot. I was like, how's she? I just, just an old man comment. So I was watching on Sunday afternoon. How's she not out of breath?
I wasn't that far away from that because, she's very physical when she performs, I guess. But I just thought.
She's dancing.
Probably why she is a professional pop star.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what she does.
I saw her in Vegas. It was one of the best shows I saw while I was there. Well, that hands down.
That makes sense.
I mean, she just put on a wall-to-wall show and did not stop.
Man, I believe it. And one was the first musical performance she did, whichever song that was. Don't remember the title. Pretty cool song. But just the dancing that was in it. I'm like, Jesus
I equate it to
Christ,
Bruno
man.
Mars. Closest thing.
I mean, I still got to say, and people will probably argue that he's not technically a pop star because maybe he bleeds into rock.
Okay.
And I think Michael backed me up, but we saw Rod Stewart, man.
Yeah.
Like, he just had so much damn energy and he just brought it.
He's
for
a pop star.
For like, he is, right. Like, it's like he just brought it for like 2 hours. You're just like, this is fun.
That's an old man.
Yeah.
He's 80 years old.
Damn.
Still having kids.
Yeah.
He's like
definitely doing
Tony Randall, but could sing.
The Hollywood Reporter put together a list of the 10 best baseball movies ever. Now, Miles.
How many star Kevin Costner?
A few of them. The problem is they left out some movies that to me should be on the list.
Is Bull Durham on there?
Of course it is.
Bull Durham is number 3 on the list.
All right. So I'm assuming Field of Dreams, then, if we're in the Costner will.
Let's see. Field of Dreams, not on there.
Really?
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Which is kind of crazy, right?
Major League.
Again, all right. So Major League is the massive one they left out. People are like, how did you leave that out of there? So they start with number 10. You haven't seen this one. It's from 1990. It's a Japanese film.
All right.
It's called Boiling Point.
Oh, it must be good.
All right. Right.
I mean, if it makes the list, I didn't.
Yeah, but this list is kind of crazy. And then 1942, The Pride of the Yankees.
42. Okay, I've heard of that, but
You ever seen that movie?
No.
I think it's about the guy that, like, he's playing for the Yankees and he kind of loses his mind.
Okay.
And it ends with him, like, screaming at fans and everything. I feel like my dad watched it once, and I was like, what is this? He's like, you don't know this story? Again, these are supposed to be the top 10 baseball movies of all time. From 2008, Sugar.
Never heard of it.
No.
I'm with you. Now, this one I know only because I'm a De Niro psycho. From 1973, Bang the Drum Slowly.
I know the name. I didn't even realize it was baseball.
It is about baseball.
I had no idea.
Huh.
You ever seen Brian's song?
Yes.
Do you like crying like that?
Okay, so I'll never watch it.
That's what Bang the Drum Slowly is.
Okay.
About the life of who? Do you remember? Is it like
Who's
Lou
the
Gehrig
player?
or something? Yeah, like is it?
You know what, Miles? I'm not positive if that one's a true story or not.
Oh, okay. All right.
But he's basically
Well, that makes it easier if someone dies.
he's a catcher that's not doing that good, gets brought up to the majors. The main pitcher, again, I think it's the Yankees, is kind of giving him a hard time, whatever. He ends up getting cancer.
Oh, geez.
They become buddies. He
Yep.
gets more PT. It's a gut-wrenching story.
I will not watch that.
I remember renting that one at Blockbuster. And I remember the guy looking at me because I'm like a teenager, and he's like, why do you want to watch, like, why? And I was like, I'm trying to watch, like, I like De Niro. I want to watch all his movies. And he was like, okay.
All right.
Here you go. Have fun with that one, son. Baseball movie. I mean, kind of, because it's ladies.
Oh, League of Their Own.
That was a great movie.
Love that.
That was a
one.
great movie.
Kind of. Get the female folk out there.
Right, I got these ladies playing the baseball.
Yeah.
Not even fast pitch,
Get
huh?
some dirt in your skirt, ladies.
We tried to do it broads with balls, but they said, no, don't do that.
10 best baseball movies of all time. Number 5, The Natural.
Sure.
Haven't seen it.
You never seen The Natural?
I know. I need to see it.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's a long one, but you should see it.
Nice.
It's pretty good, and it's classic. I don't know if I'm the old man, but you end up tearing up at the end of that one. Oh, Roy Hobbs. He's got the new bat. It's good stuff. Great movie. From 1957, Fear Strikes Out.
I'd never heard of it.
Man, that's another one of those crazy ones. Miles, you already mentioned this one. Bull Durham.
Yep.
Number 2 on the list.
Moneyball.
Yeah. Moneyball is number 2 on the list.
It's a great one. I was wondering where it was going to be at on this list when we were getting out there. I took a shot. Yeah, I really did enjoy Moneyball. My old man and I, we watched that one. You know, we had HBO back in the day, and every time it was on, we watched it wherever it was at throughout.
Moneyball is great. I even read that book. My only issue that I've always contended with it is that they never won a title.
Right.
So it's like this crazy new way, and it's like, right, but you're still trying to win a title. Right, and in baseball, Mike and I were talking about this earlier with all the NFL stuff going on. Like, the NFL is different because the bigger clubs have to give back to the smaller clubs. Whereas baseball, look at the Dodgers. They pay a luxury tax, so they basically can go buy with whoever they want.
Yeah, Yankees, Dodgers, right.
And then number 1 on the list, 8 Men Out.
I know the name.
That was about the Chicago White Sox team that threw the World Series.
Ah, okay.
Oh. Correct. Did they throw it?
For gambling, yeah.
They threw games, but did they throw the whole series?
They did.
All right.
So they made it to the World Series. So they obviously didn't throw enough games to not get them out of the World Series.
Damn it, guys.
So, but when they got to the World Series, then they threw the games.
I thought they threw some games for
Maybe
gamblers.
They did. Maybe they did.
For some reason, I thought they still won the title, but they got in trouble.
Maybe they did.
I think they call it the Black Sox.
I know they
game,
just got busted, and they were like the first team ever to go through that whole Pete Rose thing,
You're telling me they threw games and still made it to the World Series?
Well, I'm telling you, I think they threw games in the World Series to help the bettors, but still won the World Series.
Ah, okay.
The issue is there's some guys on that team that clearly were throwing games, but then you have like Shoeless Joe Jackson and a couple of these other guys who, when you look at their stats, you're just like, you can't tell me that guy was throwing the series,
So
right?
Shoeless Joe was in 2 of these movies.
What else was Shoeless Joe Jackson in?
Field of Dreams.
That's
Remember
right.
He comes out of center field out of the corn.
But Field of Dreams isn't on the list.
Shoot.
Damn it, Miles.
Well, at least he got in one.
I think another baseball movie you'd have to have on this list is Sandlot. Baseball movie?
How about the Bad News Bears? I'm serious, just as iconic as it was.
It was, man. It was a good movie.
Yeah. They may not go to Japan as much, but the first one.
Well, how about this? I think we were talking about it last week. What I'm telling you is drama, comedy, baseball, The Queen of England.
Oh,
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
Yeah, that is.
Technically, it's a baseball movie.
He's behind the plate there. Leslie Nielsen being the umpire.
And he's the umpire. It's Enrico Palazzo.
He moonwalks.
I mean, I get it. They went kind of the more serious ones. But I'm with you. Like, I just, and I don't know anybody that likes baseball that doesn't quote Major League all the time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right? It's too high. It's a bit outside.
Just a bit outside, right.
Right? Where was he at? Like the whatever Pinot League. Right? Like
On the juvenile delinquent of the offseason.
right? He was right. Like, how do you not put that in there?
Listen to the roar of the crowd as the team takes the field.
And Miles, you started with Field of Dreams. I don't know any grown man over 30 that doesn't watch that movie and love it and then maybe cry, but that doesn't make the list. I mean, the whole thing is about
like 42.
How great baseball is. Yeah.
That was a great movie, too.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Hollywood Porter, I got an old knuckle sandwich coming your way.
A knuckle sandwich?
And a box of Cracker Jacks.
I'm just not too sure about their list there. Let's see. You got a lot of, like we were talking about, college hoops is amping up. You got some of the tournaments that have already started. I think the West Coast Conference, they've started up. So, Gonzaga, St. Mary's, those kind of teams. You'll have the bigger conferences starting their tournaments this week. You still got hockey. You got NBA stuff getting close to the regular season. But I'm going to go home and watch another Penguin.
What is the team that Gonzaga plays every single year in their conference? It's like that one team that always plays them, never beats them, but I can't not remember the name of them.
I feel like St. Mary's is
Maybe
usually,
it is St.
I think
Mary's.
they're
I think
usually
it's St.
pretty
Mary's.
close, right?
Yeah.
The Gales. Pepperdine every once in a while shows up and they're like, hey, we're Pepperdine. We live in Southern California. they don't do that. I don't know why I said it like that. We live in Southern California. We're Pepperdine. I
do declare.
Thank you, Chad.
We
love
appreciate
the
it.
baseball.
You're listening to the Men's Room.
But teacher, when are we ever going to use math in the real world?
With Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on AutoTrader, you don't have to. At least not car math. Hit the road with confidence knowing exactly what you're going to pay each month for your car. AutoTrader.
Navigate the electric revolution and gain insights to electric vehicle manufacturing with Rockwell Automation. Get our free white paper and gain all the insights you need into the electric auto industry and smart manufacturing. Only the agile will survive this metamorphic shift in the industry. So let Rockwell Automation keep you up to speed. Search Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper and download your free copy today. The electric revolution is here and full insights are available for download. Get the Rockwell Automation EV Revolution white paper today.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
See what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. When you're on a plane for 10 hours to go nowhere, something really stinks. Meanwhile, a woman in Japan locks her naked hubby on a balcony. Not good in the Department of Marital Hijinks. Colorado man finally busted after robbing the same store 5 times. A man locks coworker in a steam chamber and is booked on multiple crimes. And a woman opens a can of kung fu on a robber, all while wearing heels. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, we go to Aurora, Colorado, where a young man has a favorite robbery target, apparently. He stands accused of holding up a local Shell station, but he didn't exactly make it difficult to catch him, you see. Officers were able to obtain several camera angle shots of the man, thanks to the fact that he hit the same Shell station not just once, not twice, no, 5 times. And he was quickly tracked down and arrested.
Why would you keep going back to the exact
I don't
same?
know.
He did. He went to a 7-Eleven once.
About to say, he committed, he committed 6 robberies, and 5 of those 6 was at the same doggone Shell station. Like, come on, man.
Here comes this guy again.
Get wise to you. In other news, a woman in Japan is facing charges for what she did to her common-law husband. The pair have been living together long enough for the government to consider them a couple, but like any couple, they had their issues. It was revealed that she had already assaulted the man with a knife before her recent arrest, leaving him with damage to his nose that took weeks to heal. But things came to a head recently when she was delivering some sort of punishment to the man by locking him outside on their balcony overnight in 38-degree weather while he was completely naked. Police got a call about an emergency situation in the house, finding him hypothermic on their floor, and they rushed him to the hospital. Unfortunately, he did succumb to his condition, and the woman is now facing charges, though she contends that she did nothing.
You locked him outside.
Right.
He died of hypothermia.
Naked. Yeah. Right. You did nothing. You're right. You did not let him back in.
Yes, you did not do what you could have done.
Right. He was in distress at your hand, and you did nothing about it.
I didn't do anything. I just locked him out in the cold naked. And then he died of hypothermia. That's nature's fault.
I don't get it.
All I did was pull the trigger. The bullet hit him in the forehead. I mean, hey, I didn't kill him. The bullet did.
Oh, how do you get there? I'm just going to lock him outside, butt-ass naked, in a freezing-ass cold outside, and just leave him there overnight. It was in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Right. A little bit more thought here. For more cruelty, we go to Kentucky. A man was fired from his job and arrested after antics in the workplace got a fellow employee hurt. The man and his victim were both working at the local Lando Frost, finding themselves in a massive rack washrooms that are used to sanitize trays used in the facility, with him making the ominous comment that it was big enough that someone could be closed inside. Why in the hell? When the victim showed some concern over the conversation, he slammed the door shut on his coworker, who was not able to open the door from the inside, and the machine was powered on. A wash cycle was initiated, which poured chemicals and steam reaching temperatures of 200 degrees into the room, causing significant injuries to the employee. She was able to hit the emergency shutoff inside before things got too out of hand, but did lose consciousness at one point. The other employee was arrested and fired from his position.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't... You know, and the company's trying to take a passive look at it because, you know, I'm sure he's claiming innocence in there to some degree, so they don't know if it's just, you know, a prank that just got out of hand or whatever it was. But it's like, this is steam that we're dealing with. This is steam and chemicals. You're old enough to where you understand that, okay, pranks are one thing. Hurting people is not a prank.
If you're qualified to have that job, then you should know.
Correct.
That'd be my main thing. Like, you have this job, so certainly you understand the dangers.
And
don't put a cat in the oven. I mean,
right.
Exactly. And even if it was a prank, okay, you're going to close her in the room, whatever it was. The prank is over the minute she's scared.
Yeah, then you let her back out.
Right, you did it. You spooked her for a second, then get her back out. Really, you're going to turn the damn thing on? Now then again, no, that's alleged. That's alleged. I can't say
Alleged, yes.
Crime, An Air India flight was forced to turn around 4 hours into its voyage for a crappy reason. We covered this earlier today. After taking off from Chicago bound for Delhi, they made it as far as Greenland when the decision was made to turn around and head back to Chicago because one by one the toilets on the plane started clogging. In all, out of the 12 toilets that they had, 11 of them were rendered unusable, forcing their decision to turn back around.
Okay, don't fly Air India.
None of them worked.
Oh, doggone it, Miles. Side note, 12 bathrooms on a plane. Well done.
Well, none of them work. You have one.
None of them work.
Right.
Take two. I got it. But again, I'm agreeing with what we were saying. They were over Greenland when they decided to turn around. Like, there is no airport between there and Chicago.
Reykjavik. Well, yeah, you could hit.
Well, that's Iceland.
Right.
Greenland doesn't really have an airport.
Which
but
makes
they
sense.
just kind of built one. There's like an old army base where you land.
Yeah, they've got none.
But I still just think if you're going to fly another 5 hours, just go over to Reykjavik or go to Dublin.
Exactly.
Like, just don't take me back.
Well, maybe the radio Dublin. Now we're not interested in your poopy flight there. Go ahead, turn that plane back around.
Iceland, they don't play around. Like,
what is it?
No, you're not landing here.
Turn it back around.
Sorry.
But just in case those stories up to bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
A woman in England broke her new heels in impressive fashion. She was going to a local convenience store to buy some candy for her nieces when she noticed a hooded man walking in. Originally given the benefit of the doubt, but she overheard the interaction between the man and the clerk behind the counter, figuring out that the man was robbing the place. Springing into action, the woman deployed her martial arts training to subdue the robber and eventually send him fleeing the scene. She is a fifth-degree black belt, if I'm not mistaken, and she knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
All right.
Yeah.
You messed up, brother.
Officers were able to finally catch up with the man, with the would-be robber, and arrest him, issuing a commendation to the woman for her bravery in the situation. She beat his ass.
Yeah, I bet she did,
before
man.
sending him packing, man. I got.
She also said she had one of those heels since the beginning of COVID because there was no reason.
Right.
She was like breaking them out. Barely could walk.
Men's Room Sports are brought to you by the fine folks at Sports on What. It is official. Over the weekend, the Seahawks made a trade with Pittsburgh to send wide receiver DK Metcalf over to the Steelers, with the Seahawks receiving a second-round pick in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, thanks.
Also announced earlier today, the Seahawks have their answer at quarterback as they have reached a deal with former Minnesota Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold.
A lot of action over the weekend, dude. Well, between Metcalf and Geno Smith, the team store's happy. What are you wearing now, huh?
What do we got now?
Come on down.
Sam Darnold. Okay.
Well, like you said,
he did
though,
well with Minnesota. Let's see what happens.
Are you overpaying for him? Yes. But like you said, it's $15 million less than Gino was asking. So basically, you make a lateral move and save money.
Exactly. As far as what you're going to watch tonight, you got NBA and college basketball on the night. Find out where to watch those games in one convenient location, the Sports on What app. As far as your weather, low chance of rain tonight, but it's going to be cloudy with a low of 41, and that'll open it up for a cloudy and 50-degree day tomorrow, with the rain expected to pick up tomorrow evening. It's on the way. That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawkins.
Luck of the Irish tomorrow on Sit and Spin. The lovely Jolene's coming up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0.99% APR for 60 months or $7,500 EV bonus on the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.